Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first ever YouTube Live. This is our Spring Into Action event. I'm just going to refresh my screen to make sure I'm on there. I'm there. So I'm going to keep going. Well, I am Kristin Myers, and in just a few minutes, Lynnea Tate is going to be joining us. She's backstage. Yes, we have a backstage, even virtually. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all of you guys. All right, hold on a second. It says there's 0 people. Okay, Lynnea, it says that there's 0 people. So let's see let's text somebody and see if they see us. Oh, there they are. There's 34. Okay, we're great. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Okay, take two. There must be like a 10-second delay. Welcome. The numbers are increasing. We have 44 people on this morning for our Spring Into Action live event, and we are so excited to welcome you. This morning, we are going to get to hear from some amazing ladies and do a lot of recognition for all of you guys that, you already had it lined up. Your bling badges, your all of your Reco, your bling buttons, they were on standby. You were on stage for something. So we are going to make sure that you get recognized for those things today. And Lynnea is here with me. I want to make sure that you guys see her. There's Lynnea.
Hello.
Hey, we're so excited to have both of our national areas this morning, and also a lot of women that maybe are plugging in from different parts of our local community. Just welcome, guys. So I'm going to start this morning with a prayer, and then we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So we'll take like a little breath because I'm really excited. So let's take a little breath, and let's just begin this morning in gratitude and thanks. So our dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for planting us here, dear God, in 2020, in a time such as this, that we would have the equipment, that we would have the technology, that we can come together and connect together in community, that we can share, that we can encourage, that we can influence in a positive way. We thank you, dear God, for all the blessings that you've bestowed upon our lives. We ask, dear God, that you bless the speakers, that you bless all of the people, the participants that are watching this morning. I pray, dear God, a hedge of protection over their families. I pray, dear God, a hedge of protection over their health. I thank you, dear God, for giving us immense blessings throughout our entire life and all the things that we have to look forward to. In Jesus' name, we humbly pray. Amen. All right. Well, I am going to pass this over to Lynnea.
Awesome. Good morning, ladies. I'm so glad you made the decision to be on virtually. And wow, what we had to overcome, right? I mean, career conferences, of course, being shut down for our safety and everyone else's, and then our local events that we scrambled and got together in Lynchburg. We knew for the safety of everyone, it was best to go virtual. So you guys, I know that if you're like us, we are, kind of laying low, but aren't you thankful right now for technology? I know I am, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity that we get to still make an income for our families, that we get to work from home. You all are already professionals at this, and you're going to get to hear from the best of the best. So today we're going to recognize, and this list was so long that we're not going to shout out everyone's name. We've already posted a little pic collage on our area wall. Kristin, I know, will recognize her area. But the Career Conference Consistency Challenge winners, you guys, wow, you shut that down. I mean, amazing. Congratulations. You would have had that on stage recognition. So can you just wave as you right now, just pretend, okay? And we're so proud of you for being consistent. You earned your bracelet. And you are amazing. So keep it up. Keep up the consistency, ladies, because we know when you're consistent, you are making money for your family and you're earning all the fabulous prizes. We're also going to recognize Career Conference Luncheon winners. We're going to recognize On Target Queen's Court of Personal Sales. Yes. On Target Queen's Court of Personal Sharing. On Target Circle of Achievement and Excellence. And On Target Double and Triple Star Achievement. So you all are in for a treat. And right now, I get to recognize. And before I do that, you guys, I wanted to share a couple of things with you because we are running way ahead of schedule, so that's good. I wanted to just read to you a verse in Luke, and I was reading this. It's actually one of our memory verses, and it was just a great reminder during this time of uncertainty that that God's got us, and that what we and what we okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to share this verse, and then I'm going to pass this back over to my my sister NSD Kristin, because we forgot to share our I stories. But in Luke, it says, give and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. And right now, more than ever, I just believe with all my heart that we need to use this opportunity as a bridge into women's lives and as a vehicle to just pour out to others. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Kristin so you can hear a little bit about her story before we get into all the recognition. So Kristin, come on back.
Hey, Lynnea. Okay, we're gonna be so great at this, and I think this whole season that we're in right now. Do you agree? At the end of this, we're gonna be so great at things we didn't even know we needed to be great at. So that's a definite plus for this. So I do want to share with you guys this morning some things that's on my mind, and I know a lot of you're part of my national area, and so for many of you guys, we're going to be new friends, and we are for the first time getting to meet each other. So I want to start telling my I story in kind of an odd way. It's tax season, and that's, it's kind of up, right now. And so I thought I would share with you my 1099s over some of my first years with Mary Kay. Are you ready to take notes already? And so from a financial standpoint and just a history of myself and my journey over the years, I thought I'm going to share with you guys my 1099s and then kind of weave in my story through that. Okay. So what I have right here is a chart. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but my husband actually has graphs of my paychecks every month since I became a Mary Kay consultant. We have graphs. So this is one of our graphs that we have, and I'm going to read these off to you because in 2002, that is when I started my Mary Kay business, in 2002. And my 1099 that year, which was basically my DIQ process, was $3,589.71. Okay, that's not a ton of money. Would we say that? But y'all, I was so excited with that $3,589.71 in commission, because in addition to that, I was also earning great profit from sales. So I'll have to tell you guys that during that year, what my life looked like was, I'm from a small town that has about 1,000 people, and in my home and I still have this home, so I'm in a different house right now. I'm using my husband's office right now, but it was a hand-hewn log cabin. So you probably don't know a lot of people that live in a hand-hewn log cabin. Okay, so I'm a farmer's daughter. We have apples, peaches, and cherries. And so at the time when I joined, I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And my first year as a Mary Kay consultant was, for the most part, probably like all of you guys that are new or that you feel new, because that can be the same. And so during that first year of my business, I had all those emotions that we have as a consultant. And it was, I was up and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I was like, I don't know if I've got it together. I don't know if I'm good enough, or, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, who am I going to sell to? I'm not a people person. I don't really like to be around people. I'm a total introvert. I don't have good communication skills. I mean, all the stuff that we should not do, right? I did it. I brought, guys, my before and after picture because I'm a total nerd, and I'm okay with it now, right? I'm kind of cute, right? I was kind of a cute nerd, right? So I brought this so that y'all can see, just how I thought I would never do something like Mary Kay. And I almost quit. And most of us could probably raise our hand and say, I almost quit. It would have been easy to give up. That's the easy thing to do. It is. It's just always going to be the path of least resistance. And our human nature is to always go in that direction of least resistance. And so have to really dig into, I think, our purpose, seeing something bigger than what it may look like on the surface level. And, thank God that he intervened on my behalf. And so I became a DIQ and I debuted as a new director fairly quickly. But during that time, I took all my DIQ money, my $3,589.71, and I went to Disney World. So I was so excited, y'all, about going to Disney World. But when I was in the park at Disney World, I was really thinking about quitting Mary Kay. The goal was to become a director to go to Disney World. I had done that. I'm here. It's happening. I don't know. I don't really have to have the money. I've got 2 toddlers at home, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. It's not like I have to do this, but this is the story. This was the intervention. And maybe today could be an intervention for somebody else that's on here. But I saw a lady in the park that I recognized. Now, it was cold. It was rainy. It was December. We had raincoats on, and we weren't real pretty, because it was just nasty outside. And I was with my mom, and I took everybody, took my family. It was a great trip. I was so excited. And I'm like, Mom, do you see that lady over there? I'm like, she makes $40,000 a month selling Mary Kay. And I was really quiet, whispering to her. And my mom, God love her, and I love her, she said, who makes $40,000 a month selling Mary Kay? She just threw that right out there. And this woman turned around. Now, this lady was with her husband, was with her 2 daughters, had her raincoats on. I mean, the sacks. Her bangs were molded to her forehead, right? She didn't want anyone to know who she was at this time. And so I remember she looked towards me, and I thought, my gosh, I have to say something. I've only been in Mary Kay for 9 months. She didn't know me. I don't even know her. I didn't know her title. I just recognized her from the back of the Applause magazine. So I walked over there and I stuck out my hand and I said, I was scared to death. I'm like, hello, I'm a new director with Mary Kay. And I don't even remember any word that she said other than welcome. That's all I remember saying. She held my hand and she looked in my eyes and she said, welcome. And that was the moment that God intervened on my behalf, because that was Stacey James. And I thought, Lord Jesus, you want me to sell Mary Kay? You want me to stay in this company? And so thank goodness that God placed Stacey James and myself as a brand new, brand spanking, no one, right, runny nosed kid he put Stacey James right there in front of me to say, you're going to be great. I need you to do this. And so for some of you, you've almost gave up before, right? At some point, but you come back and you just keep coming back and you just know, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So what we want to help cultivate today, Lynnea and myself, is, what does spring into action look like for you? What does spring into action look like for you? And that we can bring some hope and some knowledge, and the speakers are going to bring some inspiration and influence that we can make a difference with you today. And I believe that we're going to. Okay, so now I'm going to go to 2003. In 2003, I made $24,012. And during that time, I had Isabella. I had my 3rd baby. Okay, so boy, girl. I had a baby. January through June, I was in qualifications to earn my Cadillac. And June 4th, I popped out Isabella. And 3 weeks later, I earned my first Cadillac. Significant about that year, guys, as I was working on me. Sometimes there's a delay in your goal because there needs to be a delay in your goal. All right. And not many, you wouldn't think I would say that to you, but sometimes working on you takes precedence over other things. When you are the best version of you, you can give your best to other people. So in 2004, I had a 50% pay increase. I made $55,582, and I think that says 79 cents. $55,582. In 2005, I went down a little bit, and sometimes that happens. I went down a little bit, and I could tell you, but basically I got stuck, and I was stuck for a year. I got stuck in comparison. I got stuck thinking somebody else had it going on better than me. Like, what is she doing? I was hopping around, a little bit. And I got stuck on trying to be perfect, right? Making things perfect. And I changed that year. I had to, right? Sometimes change is necessary. And that year in 2005, I made $51,421. So I didn't go down a lot, but down is down to me. So 55,000 to 51,421 in 2005. But I shifted, guys, to intuitive leadership. Right. Y'all can probably tell if I have graphs and I have papers and I talk about numbers, it's because that's natural for me. Right. That's like the things that I'm comfortable talking about. And I had to learn to mold, what was a natural way of learning and teaching and talking and assessing, to also molding and melding and melting that with the heart connection. And I changed or tweaked and worked on my heart connections, working on intuitive leadership. And then in 2006, it made a difference. I almost doubled again and made $91,571. And I had another baby. I had another baby. So that was had four then. So I had Thomas, and I did $400,000 unit club. And then in the next year, I didn't quite double, but made $155,568 and went from the $400,000 unit club to the $865,000 unit club, because I was starting to be me. I was starting to just run in my own lane. Okay. And then the next year in 2008 was 1 million. We did 1 million. And in 2009, we did 1 million. There's probably some change. 2010, we did 1.13 million in 2010. And then, and you don't need to know the rest of them, but I'll show you. You want me to tell you the money? So 2008 was 188. 2009 was 214. 2010 was 217. 2011 was 222,000. 212 was 232,000. That was gold circle. And then my first year diamond circle was 305,000. And I debuted as a national halfway through 2001. Okay, so why else am I saying these things to you? Okay, I don't usually just say those things, by the way. So my people know that that's kind of like not something I do. But this is the deal, is during those seasons, what significant thing happened in the world? The 2007-2008 financial crisis, right, during that time. And I'm going to read just a little bit about that. It was also known as a global financial crisis. It was a worldwide economic crisis that was very much compared to the Great Depression of 1930. In many areas, the housing market also suffered, resulting in evictions, foreclosures, prolonged unemployment. The crisis played a significant role in the failure of key businesses. Declines in consumer wealth, estimated trillions of dollars, and a downturn in economic activity leading to the Great Recession of 2008 through 2012. Okay, so let's go back. So 2008 to 2012 was supposed to be the worst years of really my life, my adult and childhood life financially. And in 2008 through 2009, my unit sold a million. Do you see what I'm saying? When everything else looked bad, we were doing great. We were doing great, right? You've heard it, but I'm going to say it again. It's during a time of economic downturn, 3 things people don't stop buying: alcohol, tobacco products, beauty products, and movie subscriptions, entertainment like Netflix or Hulu. So alcohol, tobacco products, beauty products, things that make you feel good, and movie subscriptions. They're getaways, right? Sometimes I call them emotional vacations. They're emotional vacations. But during that season, during those seasons of increase, of progress, of increase, this is the thing. I believed that I could. Remember, I kind of got rid of the noise. I decided I do have enough. I do have enough going on. I do know what I'm doing. I've got to stay the course. I've got to execute a plan. So many of you were on a course before the current chaos that's kind of happening around us. And yes, you are doing everything in your power to be in a pink bubble, and I salute you. And you got to keep doing it, girl, because, right, we're bringing the happy. We know that. We're bringing the happy to the world right now. But you are on a process of executing a plan, of being focused. We got to keep putting those words down, putting those phrases down on your piece of paper. You can still be focused, right? You can still listen to limited mentors. I had it really was Glenda, my national sales director. She might be watching, but she was my mentor, right? She is my mentor, but I didn't seek out advice from other people. I didn't look and see what's she doing, what is she doing, what is she doing. I stayed isolated on my race. I deleted everything else. Most of the time, what I had to delete was in my own mind, and my temple became my delete button. So just like there was a delete button on a computer, I would go like this. I would go delete, 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 just real quick. I mean, if I would do this, they probably thought, what is she doing? But I was just sitting there deleting negative things. I had to unexpectedly, it's fine, whatever, pick up my son, take all this stuff out. It's freshman year of college, took all of his stuff out of his room yesterday. So it's kind of like saying goodbye, an end to a freshman year in a weird way, right? But it was good, and we made memories, and it was a special time. But when Marcus went off to college, I left him with a cup, and it says, okay, here we go. Actually, I can. And so right now, during this kind of, it's different. For some of y'all, it's different. We're asking you to do different things. Lynnea and I are asking you to do, it's not really different. It's just tweaking things. I want you to keep saying to yourself, actually, I can. Actually, I can do that, right? I can do that. And it will make a difference. What did Mary Kay Ash always say? If you think you can, you can. If you think you can. But if you think you can't, you're right there too, right? Okay, this is Mary Kay. I'm going to read a little bit of Mary Kay and incorporate this in our day. Many times the things we fear most happen because we expect them to. Fortunately, the opposite is also true. When we expect great things will happen. The physical body responds to the mind's commands. It is said that from the shoulders down, okay, here, we're worth about $40. But from the shoulders up, we each own a computer, more marvelous than anything human beings have been able to devise. It's impossible to estimate the value of the human mind. Okay, so right now we're pivoting. My directors are going to find this maybe funny. I don't know, but I've been praying for a magnificent shift. I don't know about y'all, but I think that's what God is doing right now. He is creating a magnificent shift. In January, one of the messages I felt like that I received from him right after leadership and just the new year for 2020, the start of 2020, was this message of renew the face of the earth, renew the face of the earth. And to me, that's what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Proverbs 21:1 says, like the rivers of water, he turns it wherever he wishes. We may not necessarily look out and go, yeah, he knows what he's doing. But we have to find that trust, right? And believe and know that he does know what he is doing. Isaiah 30:24 says, blessed are those who wait for him. You shall weep no more. He will be very gracious to you at the sound of your cry. When he hears, he will answer you. And though the Lord give you the threat of adversity, and though the Lord give you the thread of adversity and the water of affliction, your teachers will not be moved into a corner. You're not going to be moved into a corner. Your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. It's time to walk. You got to walk, people. You got to walk. We are moving forward. We are springing into action with what we know. And what do we know? Book, sell, recruit, repeat. Book, sell, recruit, repeat. Now, it might look a little different. You might have some pink envelopes that you're mailing out. That's okay, because we're going to book, sell, and recruit and repeat. One foot in front of the other. As Bridget Howard and Adams always says, one foot is trust and the other foot is obey. And that's how we are to walk, to trust and to obey. One foot in front of the other. So as you guys continue to hear from Lynnea next and the other teachers that are going to be sharing today, I would love to ask God, and I hope that you will too, to renew the face of your vision, to ask him to give you clarity of your vision, to give you a word to run with, something to focus on, something to hold on to trust. Be open and listen to those words. Open your heart up to all the possibilities. Open your heart up to growth in the desert. Do you believe in a growth in a desert, right? Because what seems like a desert, right, could be the best season of your life. Remember, when it looks impossible and the learning curve can be big to some, it's okay if you don't think that you can do it alone, because you're not. So now I want to introduce you guys to Lynnea Tate and bring her back on. So here we go. Let me find Lynnea. And I know just a couple of things about Lynnea. I know we didn't discuss that we were going to do this and everything, but I want to say just a couple things about Lynnea. And just like when I think of her, because we are becoming even better friends right now. We are learning a lot about each other, but it's so great when you can know someone not even really well, but you can still discern so many great things. And that's how I feel about Lynnea when I see her. Lynnea, to me, if I could say one thing, I would describe her as like a precious stone. Like a precious stone, just like something that's just, special. As a person, she's a very special person, something that you would want to care for, that you would want to take care of, that you would want to have in your pocket, that you would want to maybe give to your daughter. That's how I think of you, Lynnea. It's just someone that's a kind, compassionate person that loves people. And I just feel very honored to be sharing this time with you today. So I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Kristin. Don't make me cry. I can be kind of sensitive, sappy. But you can tell I'm kind of sitting here, and I was trying to get the best lighting. We have multiple children in the house, and kind of get quiet and tucked away. And so here's what I want to share with you this morning. And Kristin, I'm so thankful for you. I heard you share at Glenda's retirement at the NSD luncheon. Of course, we've known each other and crossed paths, but as I've gotten to know Kristin more and more, I feel such a connection with her in my spirit, just through our faith and our families. We both have 4 children, and just to see how God has used Kristin. I've watched her for many years, and she inspires me. And you guys, isn't that what this company is all about? We inspire each other, we lift each other up, we spur each other on. And like Kristin at leadership, I felt like God was pushing us to launch towards Diamond, from Gold Circle to Diamond. And I thought, okay, God, how's this going to happen? And then, of course, Double Credit came out, and I issued this challenge to all my directors to double their production from, February to March. And then, of course, the coronavirus hit. But you know what? I thought, why change the goal, right? I mean, some of my directors are shooting for huge, great things. And you're going to hear from Megan. She's sitting beside me, but she's finishing up her Cadillac Plus right now. And so it's exciting. We're going to keep moving forward. God's got a plan. This didn't take him by surprise. It took us by surprise. And I just believe we have even a greater opportunity to give hope to people. And I joined in 2003, a year after Kristin, and my journey, of course, is different. All our journeys are. I came in and became a director very quickly, and in 4 months, and earned a Cadillac in 10 months from signing. And I had 4 kids in 5 years. You don't have to have 4 kids. You don't have to have any kids. Or you can have grandkids. It doesn't matter. But that's where I was at in this season of life. And my husband is a church planter. So one year we moved 3 times in 2 years, all around, Virginia, trying to figure out, are we going to church plant in Roanoke or the lake, and we landed in Bedford. And God has done just amazing things. We love what we do. We love to serve our community. And isn't that what we do with our Mary Kay? We serve our community. And Mary Kay said, if you guys haven't seen this book, I love How to Be Like a Woman of Influence. And there's Mary Kay. Whoops, right by Mother Teresa. Okay, so this is what Mary Kay said. In this book, the chapter that she was kind of referenced for was integrity. And I love that. I love that. Integrity is just the core, right, of what we want to build our businesses on. And Mary Kay said this: I put a lot of emphasis on how to treat people The reason for this is simple. The real success of our personal lives and careers can best be measured by the relationships we have with the people most dear to us, our family, friends, and coworkers. If we fail in this aspect of our lives, no matter how vast our worldly possessions or how high on the corporate ladder we climb, we will have achieved very little. And don't you love the heart behind our founder? She didn't want us to lose our families in pursuit of this dream. She knew we could have both, and we could build the foundation upon the rock. And we could, our area verse is a verse that says, when my anxiety inside, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. We're the high risers. And you guys, that's right now, I think more than ever, we have a tendency to get anxious or overwhelmed. And God is our rock. We can build this business upon faith and upon Him. And of course, just a little bit more about my journey. When we were moving and I was like, okay, what is going on? I didn't have this big dream to become a national. I was an executive for several years and very happy and making a great income. I mean, when you come from teaching and that first year doubled my salary, I was happy. I was content. If you look at the disc, I'm an S personality and very much driven by relationships. And I just thought, this is great. I have got, just a solid income coming in, and God had to lift my vision higher. He had to lift that vision higher to see what He wanted me to do. And I remember seeing Barbara Sundin retire on stage, and I was like, okay, God, if you want me to become a national, that's the kind of influence I want to see happen, because I want to see women changing lives. I want to see women developing their own national areas and building to Cadillac, because then they're changing more lives. They're impacting more women. And so that was my vision, and that's what drove me and motivated me. And we debuted as a national area in 2000 and 15. I had to think. I'm like, Megan, help me out. She was 2015, and it was just so amazing to see what God could do with this, shy kind of behind the scenes person, and with the women that He had chosen to be a part of the journey. And so I just want to encourage you today, wherever you're at, whether you feel like you're on top of the mountain or in the, down in the valley, that God's got you. He's got a plan. And I know Kristin can testify. I'm sure, when you are moving towards a goal, we always say new level, new devil. Absolutely. When you're going after a dream and you're going after a goal, you better believe you're going to get knocked down a few times. And you got to be resilient and get back up and get your hand back to that plow, because there are people whose lives are connected to your dreams. And as you take that step forward, they're going to take that next step forward. And I know when we were wrapping up national, and I kept thinking, there's no way, I can't do this anymore. I can't go one more step. My daughters would leave plaques on my desk. It was really my children. I mean, they would write, Mom, we believe in you. And they would carve like NSD. And I'm like, okay, God, this vision is so much bigger than me. This is affecting the generations to come. And so you guys, I am so excited for whatever God has for you. I do want to introduce, I'm so excited to introduce Megan in just a minute, but I want to shout out our top 10, those of you who ranked in the top 10, and I am going to include some A-team adoptees. Super proud of you from the Go Give area that are listening and watching in. But in Charlotte, we had, I know Kristin and I both had, people in all different category, all different cities with Career Conference, but Charlotte and Virginia Beach were our main hubs. So Charlotte, we from our A-team, number 10 in unit sales was Paula Tyree Bowman from the Mary Kay Go Give. Congratulations. And number 2 from our area, she's going to be speaking in just a little bit, Sherry Purvis. Yay. Kristin, I love it. So Sherry, we're so proud of you. Number 2, and you get to hear from her, as I said, unit team building. She's sitting right beside me. And Charlotte is a big career conference. Number 9, Megan Wilkes and her unit. So yay, so exciting. And now I'm going to move on over to Louisville, Kentucky, because we had a couple achievers in that one. And unit team building number 10, Taylor McKnight. We're so excited. Future executive, senior sales director, Taylor McKnight. And number 2 in the top 2, Allie Zorns. You guys, that is exciting. Congratulations, both from our area. And now we're going to pop down to Virginia Beach sales. This is exciting. We've got some people on here. And of course, my senior national is Dawn Dunn. So I'm going to shout them out. I know a couple of their people registered, so I'm going to shout you guys out. But number 7 in Virginia Beach sales, Megan McDowell from the Dunn area. Number 6, Denise Guthrie from the Mary Kay Go Give area. Denise is like part of our family. We love her. Congratulations, Denise. Number 3, another adoptee that we love. I'm just going to shout her out. I was supposed to do a luncheon with her at Virginia Beach. Karen Rydell, yay. And number 2 from the Don Dunn area, Audrey McDowell for unit sales. Congratulations. And then unit team building. This is in Virginia Beach as well. Number 4 from the Kristen Myers area, Leslie Hall. Congratulations. Awesome. And we are so proud of you. And then the top 2 were from Dawn's area, Dawn Dunn, my senior, and that was Joyce Perry and Megan McDowell. So congratulations, ladies. So proud of you. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce Megan. And I think I'm going to just switch seats. Or are you going to talk on your... Okay, I'm going to switch seats with her. But real quick, just a few little things about Megan. Megan is such a sweetheart. She has a heart of gold and has always been so connected. She's so relational and a people builder. And Megan has made appearances in the Court of Sales. She has been in the Court of Sharing 3 times. And the past couple years, she has been in the Circle of Excellence. So Megan is a unit powerhouse. She and her unit are amazing. And I know her heartbeat is to build to million. And she is doing amazing things, wrapping up her Cadillac Plus this month and expecting her first baby trip. And she's beautiful. We love her so much. So I'm gonna shift with her and allow her to get in the camera. But let's give a huge welcome to Megan Wills. Woohoo!
Musical chairs. Okay, awesome. Hey guys. Thank you so much for that introduction, Lynnea. Okay, so I am going to talk to you guys about, if you have a notebook, now would probably be a good time to pull it out if you hadn't already, but I'm just going to talk to you about team building with confidence and what that looks like. I love team building. I love new consultants. I also love working with seasoned consultants, obviously, but I just love the enthusiasm and just like the ignorance on fire from new consultants. And so even though this is kind of like tied into building a unit, you guys are kind of building your own little units as you build your team and get to Red Jacket and team leader and all of those different levels on a career path. But the first thing I want to ask you in regards to team building is, are you sold out? Or do you have one foot in the door and one foot out the door? Maybe you're wondering why nobody's joining your team. I've had quite a few people ask me, like, why is nobody joining my team? And so the first thing is that belief, that crack in your belief system. There's obviously a reason that you feel like people aren't joining your team. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask that question. And so I just want you to ask yourself, am I sold out on this opportunity? And why do I want to build a team? So be thinking on that as I go through this training. But the first thing is, it's hard to stop a body in motion. I started my business 7 years ago as an 18-year-old high school senior. Team building really wasn't on my mind at first, but now with like the Bring Your Besties, if I would have had the Bring Your Besties like a lot of you guys had, it would have been a whole different story. So Mary Kay is super smart. So if you haven't used all your coupons, make sure you do that, because discounted starter kits are a rarity. So make sure you take advantage to build your team and to make that extra commission that Mary Kay has upped for us this past year. But it's hard to stop a body in motion. My first few months, and Jamie Taylor would probably know this better than I remember, but I'm pretty positive I didn't sign my first team member for like maybe 6 months, something like that. So if you're new or you signed in the last few months and you're like, nobody's joined my team yet, something must be wrong with me. That's not true whatsoever. It's just your thoughts, what you think about, you bring about. So if you focus on sales, you'll only sell. But if you focus on recruits, you'll only recruit. But we want you to do both, right? Because that's how you keep your business moving. I have a lot of girls that sell a lot of product, but they're discouraged about team building. It's like being in a boat with 2 oars. And I heard Taylor McKnight repeat this from what we learned in Orlando at a class, but it's funny, like I was sitting right next to her in that class, but we picked up on completely different things. I didn't even hear this portion of the training, but she did. So I'm really glad she brought it back around. But it's like you're in a boat with 2 oars, right? And you're rowing, but let's say you're just selling. So if you just move this oar, your boat goes in circles. Same thing if you're just recruiting, your boat goes in circles. But if you're doing both, you're moving forward and you're building momentum. So if you can sell this product, you guys, if you're a great seller, but you don't have any team members, if you can sell this product, you can sell this opportunity. If you tell yourself recruiting is hard, it is going to be hard. People are attracted to confidence and enthusiasm. Genuine confidence and enthusiasm, not some rehearsed script. So don't feel like you have to have something that's perfect to say to anybody. Like I said, you really don't have to give them a ton of information. This is why I love new consultants, is because a lot of them, when they're super duper excited, for instance, a girl that's under Jamie Taylor, Kayla Brown, she added 11 new people in her first month in the company. Was it because she was super skilled? Not really. She was brand new, but it was because she was super excited about the opportunity and she just told everybody about it. And so she was talking about the opportunity just like you would talk about how much you love a miracle set. And so the opportunity really does sell itself as well. Okay. This is what I hear a lot from new consultants that aren't necessarily seeing faces. And I know this is a weird time because you can't be in front of people face-to-face in real life. It's a lot of virtual stuff. But let me just ask you, would you respond to this message to a random person? Or maybe it's somebody that you know, but you might not have built a relationship with, or maybe you had a relationship with a long time ago, like an old friend, but that relationship hasn't been really cultivated. Would you ever message them, hey, have you ever thought about doing Mary Kay? Would you respond to that if someone messaged you that? Probably not. And so if I go back through a lot of my old messages, like on Facebook, I'm guilty of this. So if you've done this, do not feel bad. I'm not shaming you whatsoever, but I had to learn the hard way. Just be empathetic and put yourself in another person's shoes and be like, this message that I'm going to send, if someone sent it to me, would I reply to it? And if the answer is probably not, then don't send it. Send it to your director or your recruiter or somebody that you feel like will give you good feedback and they can tweak the message for you. Don't necessarily ask them like, hey, what do I say? You formulate what you think you should say and then let them kind of edit it. And then you can kind of see how to go about that from now on. But when I'm sharing the opportunity with people, I'm kind of switching to like a tangible thing right now. I just keep Mrs. Cab in mind. And so I'm just going to tell you what each letter means, just in case you don't know if you're brand new. But I used to use a recruiting notebook. You can use that if you want to, just to stay on track, but make sure you're not reading from the notebook like it's bullet points, because that's going to sound robotic and ingenuine. You want to obviously like speak to them and relate to them in a way that they need you to. But I used to use a recruiting notebook when I would get nervous, just because I feel like I would lose my train of thought, because I'm naturally super introverted. And so until I got to do this a lot more often and I had a lot more practice, I would just go through Mrs. Cab in my mind. So that way, if I got off on a rabbit trail, I could bring myself back and be respectful of their time and not overwhelm them with a bunch of like unnecessary information. Because you don't want to like throw pink Cadillacs and diamonds and huge checks at people, because that's not not relevant, but that's not relational. They don't relate to that. Relatable is the word I'm looking for. That's not super relatable. And they're probably going to count themselves out because they're like, well, that sounds great, but like, I don't care about pink Cadillacs and diamonds. Cause that was me at first. Cause I just didn't see that for myself. I didn't have that confidence. So kind of you need to ask them questions throughout an appointment or as you get to know them, just to see like, okay, what would appeal to them the most from this opportunity, and harp on those things more so that they can see where Mary Kay would fit into their lives. So Mrs. CAB, it's an acronym, MRSCAB. The M, the first letter, stands for money. So this is when you just explain to them how we make our money, the 50%. It's super simple. R is recognition, and this is where you talk about the cars that you're eligible to earn. This is where you talk about the prizes, the star prizes. If a lot of you picked your star prize, talk about that. And if you're super new, this is what I get a lot. Well, I don't really have anything to talk about. I haven't gotten any prizes yet, or I haven't made like a ton of money yet. That doesn't matter. If you're just explaining to them what the company offers, great. Or if you have a friend or you want to talk about your recruiter and how much, how many prizes they've gotten, or how much money that they've been able to make at an appointment, whatever you have to do to be relatable is fine. But just know that you're stating facts, and don't feel bad about yourself if you haven't accomplished any of this yet, because we all start with the same starter kit. We all start from ground zero. So R is recognition, S is self-confidence, and this is my favorite thing to talk about because I didn't have a lot of this when I first started. So just talking about how Mary Kay can boost people's self-esteem is really important. Not only like having great skin and knowing how to apply makeup, we teach them that. You don't have to know anything about anything as far as skincare and makeup goes. I always make sure that I tell them that they do not have to be beauty gurus or makeup artists whatsoever to be successful at this business. Just because there's a lot more women than you can imagine that are struggling with self-confidence. And so being able to speak in front of a crowd or even do this, I couldn't have done 7 years ago. So just explaining that to them is super beneficial, because it's not all about the makeup and the skincare. It really is about like the woman that you're becoming in this business. C, I say, stands for 3 different things so that I make sure I cover all the bases. So first I talk about our motto, a Christian-based company, God first, family second, career third. Then I talk about cars. I go a little bit more in depth with like the Malibu and the Equinox and all the different levels, because most people think that there's only a pink Cadillac. And then the last thing that the C stands for is community. So that way I can throw in the sisterhood aspect, because a lot of women join Mary Kay just for extra friends. Which is awesome. And then A stands for advancement. This is when you're talking about the second way we make our money. So the first way is the 50% sales. The second way is through team building. And I tell them, like, you don't have to team build if you don't want to, but here's all the money that you'd be leaving on the table if you didn't. And then I also talk about the bring your bestie, since that's a new thing from Mary Kay. And last but not least, B stands for be your own boss. And that's when I talk about the flexibility of the business and how it can fit into their lives. And this is a great time to be sharing the opportunity and not to be insensitive to the situation that's going on. Jamie Taylor and I did a recruiting event live on Facebook on Tuesday night, I believe. And we were just really careful to say, like, we're not trying to make people feel bad if they've lost their jobs, or we're not here to say that, like, oh, Mary Kay is the best or anything like that, especially during this time. It was just showing them their options and giving them the opportunity to ask questions and to hear more about the opportunity, because we didn't want to brag and say, like, oh, well, we're not suffering, like, we still are making a paycheck. That was not at all our intention, and that shouldn't be yours either. But now more than ever, I think it's important for people to realize, like, even if it's not Mary Kay, a side hustle or an extra stream of income is so vital and important, because we never know when things like this will happen. And I thought it went really, really well. And I think people responded well to it. And just being that light in such an unknown time, because everything changes every 24 hours. You never know what you're going to see on social media or television or whatever. So just being our normal, positive, like Mary Kay selves, we just had fun sharing the opportunity and gave away some products. So it was a lot of fun, but share from your heart and just sprinkle with facts when you're sharing the opportunity. Don't put so much pressure on it, because that takes away from the, just like your genuineness and your authentic, I can't think of like the proper authenticity. Thank you. It's still really early. But the key is asking straightforward questions after you share to seal the deal. Because I know a lot of you probably share the opportunity, but you're like, but nobody's like signing on the dotted line. So just be straightforward when you share the opportunity. What I say after I share, I tell people the 3 different kinds of consultants there are. I call the first one a sleeping beauty. That means you just want like personal use or the discount and to service your mom and your sister or whatever. The second type of consultant is a hobby level or part-time. This is how it would fit into your life, a couple hours a week. This would be extra Christmas money, vacation money, whatever. And then the third type of consultant is you're a leader. You want an executive, you want to be able to make an executive income, earn the use of a Mary Kay career car, the whole nine. So when I tell them that, they're thinking about what they want to do. And so I'll literally just ask, so what would hold you back, if anything, from giving Mary Kay a shot? And then that really puts them on, not necessarily puts them on the spot, but it gives you a straightforward answer. So that way people aren't able to beat around the bush as much. I used to do, okay, what's your interest level on a scale of 1 to 10? And if you do that and it works for you, great, don't change it. But that wasn't working for me. People would tell me like 6.5. And I'm like, what do I do with that? So if I just ask, okay, what would your interest level be on a scale of 1 to 3? 1 would be like, no thanks, I just want to be a customer. 2 would be, I'm actually a little more interested than I thought, but I have some hesitations, which is when I ask, what are your hesitations? What's holding you back? So that way we can just like nip that in the bud, especially if I'm like on FaceTime with them or face to face. Obviously not right now. And then the third thing is, what the heck? It's $100, or if you have a coupon at 75, sign me up. Mary Kay has like a cold feet policy. So if their starter kit hits their doorstep and they want to send it back, there's no penalty. They can actually still re-sign later. But yeah, I just let them know all of their options. So yeah, just address all of your people's concerns with validation and with confidence. So when someone gives me an excuse or an objection as to why they're not going to sign up, like if they say, oh, well, that sounds good, but I'm a teacher and I'm still getting paid, like I'm still making a salary. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you and your family that you guys are still making an income. I have a ton of teachers and nurses on my team that just do this for extra fun money. I don't say, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. So for instance, I actually had a girl that we shared with on Tuesday night that watched live. I had messaged her and I was like, thanks so much for watching that video, girl. She's been my customer for like 5 or 6 years. And I've always wanted her on my team. She's really cute. She's a military wife. But that was actually what was holding her back from doing Mary Kay. And had I not done the virtual event and messaged her privately to follow up, fortune is in the follow-up, you guys. Make sure you are doing that. And if you don't know how to follow up, ask your director for questions that you can ask to get the ball rolling. But she said that her number one fear for not doing Mary Kay is being a military wife and moving a lot and not knowing anyone when she moves. And so I related to her by using examples of women that I knew in my unit that were also in the same boat as her. And I also reassured her that if she's coachable, I will give her all the resources that she needs to be successful. And then she was like, oh, well, what would the process look like? I explained it to her and she was like, well, who would be my first customer, especially since we're quarantined and doing social distancing and all of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's totally fine. We're working a lot virtually and I've honestly sold way more than I anticipated during this time, which is completely true. And she's like, okay, well, what can it hurt? You guys, that was not like a super quick recruiting thing. That was me layering her for 5 years and then continuing to invite her to these virtual events. So don't give up. If you're new and you haven't recruited anybody yet, they're coming. I promise you. The longer you're consistent, the more people will start to come out of the woodwork. And some people just need you to prove to them that you're not going to quit in order for them to join your team. Now, mind you, a lot of people will sign on the spot. Okay, I'm not saying that. But a lot of people will sign 5 years from now, and you just don't know who they are yet. So just stay the course. And as Lynnea says, keep your hand to the plow. Okay, perfect. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to close with something Mike Strong talked about at LEAP to a little exclusive group of sales directors. And it's from the book called The Energy Bus. I don't know if a lot of you have read that or not. I can't think of the author off the top of my head. But it's called The Energy Bus. And he said, fuel your bus with positive energy. Invite people on your bus and share your vision for the road ahead. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to team building is having a vision for your business because people want to jump on board a team that's going somewhere, a winning team. And even if you're like, oh, well, I haven't done anything, like, I don't know. cast a vision. Just say, I started my business because I need extra money for my kids, and I would really love to take them to Disney World, like Kristin said. Or I would really love to go on some sort of like cruise with my family eventually. Or I would really like to pay off all my student debt. Fill in a blank, whatever that is. Just like you have a why for your business, you need to be sharing that with people when you're sharing the opportunity. Because if you don't have a vision for the road, people are going to be like, well, what's the point, in me joining? So invite people on your bus and share your vision for the road ahead. If you don't clearly communicate your vision, no one will want to travel with you, right? And you want to make sure you have that enthusiasm and that confidence too. And I don't necessarily believe in faking it till you make it, but faith it till you make it, and just be like, I'm going to faithfully share the opportunity with everybody that I've come in contact with, everyone that I'm doing a virtual party with the next week or two, or however long we're doing this thing. And just think about like what I want to be on my team with the energy that I'm putting out. So each person, this is important. This is very important. Okay, you guys. So when you share the vision for your road, the person that's going to join your team isn't only going to join for your dream. Of course, women want to help other women, but each person that's going to be on your bus is also the driver of their own bus, and they need a vision for their business. So your job as a recruiter is to keep putting your vision for your road ahead out there, giving them permission to have a vision for their road, and giving them inspiration and motivation to keep going for whatever their goal is. Do not waste your energy on people that are not on your bus, because that takes away from the people that are on your bus already. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's how my unit has retained our people so well, is that I really do pour into them. I send them snail mail, and that's something you can easily do. Even if you have one team member, invite them to meetings, send them encouraging mail. A stamp costs like 55 cents. It's really not that much, but just invest in your people and you will see that retention. Tell them happy birthday when it's their birthday. Your positive energy and vision must be greater than anyone's negativity. And do not give your power away. You are the CEO, which in this case stands for Chief Energy Officer. So keep the energy high, the vibes high, the positivity high. And I promise you, people will want to ride with you on your bus. So that's all I have.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So I think that Kristin's coming back on, and we're going to shift again. So we're going to recognize our luncheon achievers. So
yes,
we're excited.
Absolutely. And I know you guys have so many things that you maybe want to say to some of the speakers. So what we can do is, if you have feedback, send the feedback to your director. She'll send it to the nationals, and we'll make sure that all the speakers today get love notes from you, because we want to give them love notes. We want to give them, the things that we took away that meant so much to us. And so just know that we'll love on them at the end. We'll love on them. But thank you, Megan. And yeah, right now we're going to recognize our luncheon achievers. Right, Lynnea? Our luncheon achievers?
Yes, we are. Yay.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and start. So these are shout outs to everyone that was luncheon achievers for Career Conference. Leslie Hall, Becky Compton, Tess Caldwell, Kylie Mims, Allison Pruitt. I'm just going to hold this because I feel better. Bridget Adams, Lauren Ross, Debbie Martin, Jennifer Osborne, Ashley Potter, Amber Hill, James Shaw, Jennifer Merritt, Autumn McCrae, and Courtney Ham. Woo!
Awesome. Congratulations. And I'm going to shout out mine real quick as well. Congratulations, Christiana McElroy, Tanya Miner, Kathy Foster, Sherry Purvis, Emily Wright, Nikki Holm, Marianne Brenchick, Melissa Greenlee, Stacy Patrick, Chelsea Clater, Carly Cammers, Rachel Ryan, MT Marsteller, Alyssa Gimbach, Megan Wilkes, Sabrina Newton, Shavana McDowell, Taylor McKnight, Violet Tabor, Savannah Tank, Allie Zorns, Leanna Honecker, and Sandy Morrison. You guys rock. Look at all those lunch. I wish we could have lunch with them right now, Kristin. Virtual lunch.
I know. Well, congratulations again to all of you guys. And now I want to introduce to everyone our next speaker, and her name is Miss Lauren Roth. So Lauren has been building her business with Mary Kay for 8 years, and she has earned 4 cars in her Mary Kay career, 2 diamond rings with National Court of Sales, and currently, this is the big one, y'all ready? And this is why she was asked to speak, currently ranking number 2 for the entire Sapphire seminar in the National Court of Sales. She is married to her husband, Jason, and they have a fur baby, Scout. He's our rescue Jack Russell mutt. I love that. You put that in there. And is 7 years old. And I just want to add 3 words to also, Lauren, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this morning. I would say my 3 words today for Lauren, which there are many, is loyal, observant, and kind. So I just want to thank you so much, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. First of all, I'm going to apologize. My office is a mess. I just placed a huge order and we're still processing it. So if you guys see like product boxes and stuff on the floor, that's what's going on. But thank you guys so much for being on here today. I hope you guys are all having an amazing, amazing Saturday. So Kristin asked me to talk a little bit today about how to build a strong customer base. Like she said, I have been building my business for right at 8 years. She's having 8th anniversary. And throughout that, I have learned a lot of things to do and a lot of things not to do. And so first and foremost, I'm going to give you my 5 tips, but I'm going to say play to your strengths. So at our Autumn Advance last year, one thing that was really hit home was play to your strengths. And kind of like Megan was saying, like, you got to have both oars in the water. You can't just do one. You can't just do the other. But don't feel like you've got to stop doing what you're doing that works and rearrange everything. So do what you do what works, and focus on your strengths, and everything else is going to come. So that's one thing that, I've really been working on this year. And for me, my strengths is sales. And so that's what I've been focusing on. And it really is that everything else is coming along with that. And I apologize, my sun just came out. It's been super cloudy, so I'm getting a little bright here. I'm getting a little shiny. But my 5 tips today are going to be, number 1 is master your party. So from start to finish, bookings to closings, master your party. So make sure you have your daily booking time. When my business is at its best, it's when I'm doing my daily bookings. If I'm getting frustrated, I can look back and say, you know what, this last week, I've only done bookings once, not 5 or 6 days this last week. So have something set to like either a certain time every day or, something that you need to make sure you take that time to do that. In your bookings, I'm very, very cautious of making sure that we are playing by the golden rule. You guys know that Mary Kay set up the business to, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you're getting ready to book somebody and they tell you they have a consultant, or they tell you they use Mary Kay, or even if they're like, oh my gosh, I love Mary Kay, all of those are indicators that they are familiar with the products and familiar with the brand. And it doesn't mean to just like quit the conversation or bow out at that point, but dig deeper. See if, maybe they're new to the area and don't have a consultant, but are looking for one. Or if they do already have a consultant, be respectful and just turn them back to their consultant. So I take that very, very seriously. So have your booking time, be respectful. The next thing is have a system of coaching between the booking and holding of the appointment. So Mary Kay always said a party worth booking was a party worth coaching. And so have some system in place, whether you guys use the sheet that's the full circle booking tracker. It's like a full-size sheet per page or per party. Each party has its own paper. There have been seasons in my life where I made like an Excel spreadsheet and I can keep all my bookings tracked on there. Right now, I just do it in my date book. So whatever works for you, but have some kind of system for coaching your parties that works. Working your appointments full circle. So making sure that you're not just doing your sales, but you are also, doing a little bit of marketing, whether that's the purse game, whether that's Mrs. Cab, something like that. Make sure you're booking appointments from appointments. Make sure you're getting referrals. Make sure you're booking career chats. Don't just do one thing. Make sure you're doing everything, working at full circle. Excuse me, really maxing everything out. And then this one to me is really, really important for the sales side of it is have some kind of closing sheet that you love, something you believe in, something that you can really get behind yourself. So, for us, we've got our roll-up bag sheet where they can mix and match their different bundles and get to bundle it up and get a little bit of a discount on it. But have some kind of sheet that works for you that you really, really do believe people will purchase. So our roll-up bag sheets, we have some pretty big bundles on there, like hundreds of dollars worth of bundles. Like it can get pretty big. And just know that even if you personally wouldn't have purchased that as a customer, doesn't mean that others won't. And so, before I started Mary Kay, I was fresh out of college, didn't really have a real job. I was, nannying and working retail and not really situated financially. And so I never would have been a queen of everything. There's no way I could have afforded $600 in products. Like, no. But it doesn't mean that other people won't spend that much. So even if you wouldn't do it, just know that other people do. And then lastly, for number one, I would say master the sale. So get really good at your individual consultations. Get really good at practicing how to close that sale. If you have questions, reach out to your director. She can help you with that. But just get really, really good at comfortably asking for the sale. And it doesn't have to be pushy. It doesn't have to be salesy. Like Megan said, she was very introverted. I am very introverted as well. And so for me, it's more just conversation based. But find what works for you. Okay, my tip number two is have a system for follow-up. It doesn't have to be hard, but have some type of system for your customer follow-up. So after the initial purchase, then what? So for me, I just write 4 things on each sales ticket. Probably have some here. So just on each sales ticket, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I write 4 little things there. And it's just making sure that I'm processing that customer correctly. So first is writing them a thank you card. Thanking them for being at the facials, thanking them for purchasing product, letting them know it makes a difference in our businesses. The second thing is, adding them to my customers. If they bought skincare or if they bought, one of our bundles, I'll add them completely into my customer app. I'll add their address, their email, everything. If they just bought a mascara or something like that, you can still add them in. I just don't add their address in. I do just an email address. So they'll get the automatic emails, but I won't have to add them to my PCP program. Do what works best for you. That's my system, but these are just tips. So do what works for you guys. So that's number 2. Number 3 for this, the third thing I write is VIP for our VIP club. I know everybody looks different. Everybody's national areas has something a little bit different, but ours is, when they spend so much, then they get some type of shopping spree. So whatever your VIP club looks like, add them to that. And lastly is do your 222 follow-up, check in with them. I spent probably the first 5 years of my business thinking these products are awesome. When people run out, they will call me. It didn't work. I have maybe 2-3 customers from the first couple of years of my business because I didn't do any follow-up. So one thing I learned and I'm getting really good at. But do that 222 follow-up. For me, my phone allows scheduled text messages. And so after a party, I just schedule out my 2-day, 2-week, 2-month text to go out and just tell them to send on the appropriate days so I don't have to think about it. I know some of the girls in my unit, they write it in their calendar. So they go 2 days out and write her name, 2 weeks out, write her name, 2 months out, write her name. So that reminds you there. So whatever your system is, but have something in place. So those are the things I do for my customer follow-up in the short term. Tip number 3 is have weekly and monthly communication. So this is going to be following up, going long term. And so, the same people that do my unit newsletter also do customer newsletters, and any consultant can sign up. So you could do something like that, or you could run a VIP customer page on Facebook. It doesn't have to cost money. You can do something that's free. whatever, but have some kind of weekly something in place, whether it's doing a product promo once a week or once a month, or doing, a monthly gift with purchase, like a little deluxe mini or something. Have some kind of weekly or monthly communication set up so they hear from you. You guys know anytime we buy something from a retail location, if they get your email, they're sending you like 3 emails a week. They are constantly communicating. People are used to that. I wouldn't go that extreme. I'd say maybe no more than once a week and via Facebook. But I don't think it'd be bad to reach out maybe once a month or so personally via text or calling. Let's see, my fourth tip would be PCP. Deadline for this is, I believe, April 15th, April 17th. You guys look it up on InTouch, but it's a couple weeks out. Definitely enroll people in your PCP program, your preferred customer program. It costs, I believe, 70 cents per name, and it mails a catalog with a sample in it directly to their home. Y'all know it costs more than 70 cents to mail a catalog, right? And they get a free sample in it. So it's definitely a good deal. And then make sure you follow up with that. So don't just mail them out and then expect people to place orders. Yes, some of them will. I usually know that my customers have gotten theirs when I start getting some orders in, but then I make sure to go in and follow up with everybody else. Oh, Marisha, I just saw that you have a rescue jack too. Oh, I love it. I love it. He is the joy of our lives. He is our baby. Thank you. Yes, PCP deadline is April 17th. And I see a couple of you guys saying too about scheduled messages. I do have an Android. I have an LG. I've had a Samsung. Those will do it. But also there are some third-party apps you can get. So go into like Google or the App Store and look up third-party text messaging apps. And you can find some that do have scheduled text messaging too. All right, ladies, last but least, book the second appointment. So I know we talked a little bit about working full circle, which does include bookings from bookings. But, sometimes things fall through. So, like Megan said, the fortune's in the follow-up. So if you have some customers that, for whatever reason, we didn't get in front of a second time, now would be a phenomenal time to reach back out and do like a glamour session, to do, virtual glamour appointments. My best customers, like 90% of my best customers, ones that order every quarter religiously, I have been in front of twice, at least twice. So they have had at least 2 facials. And so even if it's a FaceTime virtual glamour makeover, whether it is, to help you get practice doing virtual facials, or if you want to do like a spring modeling portfolio, definitely reach back out and get in front of your customers a second time. You can then answer more questions. You can talk more about the products. You can do like a face-to-face or, a virtual face checkup from the neck up. And so I think they really, really do appreciate the customized service that we have and how we're really able to meet their needs. So those are my top 5 tips, but y'all make sure to play to your strengths. Don't neglect the sales side, but don't stop completely what you're doing and then try and do this instead. Like, just make it all mesh and make it all flow. But thank you guys so much for being on here today. And Kristin and Lynnea, thank you so much for putting this together for us. We really appreciate it. Oh, you're muted, Kristin.
Thanks, Lauren. Thank you.
I love that. We were just smiling. Okay. Well, ladies, we're so excited to recognize those of you who are on target for Queen's Court of Personal Sales. Congratulations. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to say, Lauren, fabulous. You can tell that you are on it, girl, like detailed, on point, taking care of your customers. Thank you. Thank you for giving us those helpful tips. That is so, so valuable. So I love it. Okay, so on target, Queen's Court of Personal Sales. Take Lauren's tips and run with it. And I just want to celebrate those of you in our area who are on target for this. And some of you have already earned diamond rings and you're going to cross to get your, third, fourth, and some of you it's your first time. And so we can't can't wait to see all of you celebrated. So Debbie McIver, congratulations. Oh my goodness, girl. I know you love to go across that stage. Chelsea Clater, who is #1 in our area right now. She is just at the top. And so congratulations to Chelsea. Carly Cammers, On Target Quarter Sales. Congratulations, Carly. Shavonna McDowell in Louisville. Congratulations. We're so excited for all of you. And Sherry Purvis, congratulations. And of course, from our A-team, Denise Guthrie, we're so proud of you. So congratulations to all of you ladies.
All right. And then we have some more to add to this list. We've got Miss Lauren Roth that just spoke. And thank you. Thank you. I say ditto to everything that she already said about you. Wendy Tucker, Tess Caldwell, Ashley Potter, Patty Oakley, and Bridget Adams. We get to add all of you to the list. So congratulations for being on Target National Court of Personal Sales.
Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes I click the wrong mute button. But I am so excited. I get to introduce a new sales director now. And this is so exciting. I know Megan talked about her senior Jamie Taylor. Well, Rachel is also an offspring of executive senior sales director Jamie Taylor. And Rachel, we are so proud of you, girl. Right now, the reason we asked her to speak is she's ranking number 14 in the Diamond Court of Sharing. And so she's in the top 20 for our Diamond division. I told her I want her to be the queen. So be the queen, Rachel. Her commissions are so stellar. And she came in May and debuted in September as a new sales director. She is shutting down all of her new director programs, earning those rings and $1,000 bonuses. She just picked up her Equinox. I have no doubt she's going to finish her Cadillac by seminar. And Rachel, I am so proud of you and so excited to introduce you. So Rachel Ryan, hop on. Is she out there? Yay!
Hey, Lynnea, thank you so much. Thank you. Every time I hear that, I'm like, wow, I just still can't believe it. Every time somebody says anything about me and my business. So thank you so much. And thank you, Kristin, for also allowing me to do this and be on. I'm so excited. So anyways, I'm going to make this sweet and short and quick for you guys. So we will do what we can, but I'm going to talk a little bit about me for a second, just to introduce you guys to me and just get you, just to have a little introduction so you know you know me a little better. So my name is Rachel Ryan. I started my business in May of 2018 on Mary Kay's birthday. I had no idea at the time, but later on, Jamie, my senior sales director, was telling me that I joined on Mary Kay's birthday, May 12th. And I thought that was so cool and it's so special to me. So that's just a little fun fact. But I started my business in that May. I was living in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the time. My husband had just gotten a job up there. And so we had to move up there 700 miles away from my home in Atlanta, Georgia. And so it was just a really big adjustment. I had just graduated from the University of Georgia with a journalism degree, but I did not want to use my journalism degree. I really just wasn't interested in it, but I got my degree, and to me, that's all that mattered. But I really had an interest in like PR and marketing and that kind of thing. So I got a job at a corporate company up there. You guys are gonna probably freak out when I say this, but I started at $10.35 an hour, and I was working my way up the corporate ladder. I was moving pretty fast because that's just how I am. I really felt the need to have to just keep moving on up and earning new positions and all of that. So I loved moving up, but I just wasn't passionate about the work that I was doing. They had me in a closet where I was working with no windows, anything like that, not fun. And one day on my lunch break, I was sitting in my closet having to do some more work. And I just started crying, honestly. I was so upset with where I was, and I just wasn't happy. And I got on Instagram, of all places. I know this is a really weird story, but I got on Instagram and I had been following this really pretty person that drove a pink car. And I thought that was so cool. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so I was like, wow, I want her life. I'm currently sitting in a closet with no windows, working a job that I'm not passionate about. And yes, I'm only 24 years old, but they were telling me that I didn't have to be happy because I was young and that I would be happy one day. And that didn't sit right with me. And I didn't want to work for people who told me those kind of things. So I messaged her on my lunch break. It was just a spur of the moment thing. And I was like, I want to know a little bit about what you do. And also, can I be your friend because you drive a pink car and that's so cool. Something like that. And so she got back to me, and a couple weeks later, she drove 6 hours to meet me in Fort Wayne. She drove from Nashville to Indiana, 6 hours. And because she did that, I was like, wow, this is real. This is like, somebody drove 6 hours to tell me about this opportunity. It must be amazing. And ever since then, I had never looked back. I knew that this opportunity was for me, and I've never thought differently. But for the first year of my business, I was still working 60 to 70 hour work weeks, just a lot of overtime. And I just think that looking back, even though I wanted it so bad at the time, I don't think it was the time for me. God's timing is always perfect. And I think that just wasn't my time yet. But we found out in March of last year, so literally like a year to almost the day probably, that we were moving back to Atlanta. And this was a huge deal and something we had been praying for a long time. But they told us that it would probably be 5 to 6 years. So it was a major deal that we were moving home back to Atlanta. And I thought, this is it. This is the time. Like, I am not going to rewrite my resume. I'm not going to apply for another job. I'm going to make Mary Kay work for me. And I looked to my husband and I told him, I said, do you think that I can try this full time? And he said, I'll give you 2 months. We'll see how it goes while we're like getting settled. And so that was all I needed to hear. And I was like, I will make this work for me. So we moved the first week of April. The second week of April, I was coming home, or I was going to an appointment from an appointment, and a car came out of nowhere and totaled my brand new car. And so I honestly credit my success right now to that car crash. And even though at the time it was a huge obstacle, or it felt like a huge obstacle for me and something that really could have hindered me and my business and where I was headed, I am very thankful that it happened, especially because nobody was hurt, of course. But in that moment, my first thought was, is everybody okay? And everybody was fine. And then my second thought was, I have to earn a free car with Mary Kay. I have to. I'm not getting another car. Like, this happened for a reason, and I'm just going to believe that. And so everybody, of course, thought I was crazy. They were like, you can't earn a free car with Mary Kay, or, you know, how people are, and that don't understand the business. And I was like, watch me, I will. And Kristin, it's so funny. I grabbed my mug. I also have this mug. It is my motto for my unit. It's my t-shirt. Yes, actually I can. I know. So I had to grab that really quickly, but yeah, so that really, I look at that day I got in that car accident as the beginning of my journey, really. Even though all of this stuff before that really, really matters and it's a part of my story, that day that I got in that car accident really changed me. And a couple months later, I was in DIQ. I finished DIQ in September 1st. I debuted. I earned my first free car in October and earned my second car in December. And like I said, I credit it to that car accident almost. So today I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about what it would look like for you if you wanted to be a director by seminar, and just some tips that you want to take, because I wanted to be a director by seminar so bad, of course, because, I started doing Mary Kay full time last April, and I thought that I would be in DIQ, or I thought that I would be a director by seminar. I really wanted to be a 1-month wonder, which, if you don't know what that means that you finish DIQ qualifications in a month. That didn't happen for me. Like I said, God's time is always perfect, though. I'm so glad that didn't happen. But like I said, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what it would look like for you to be a director by seminar and some tips that you might want to take along the way so that you can possibly be there and be crossing that stage as a brand new sales director. So number one, you need to know what you need. You need to know what you need. So for me, for you, that looks like 10 going into, you have to have 10 people to submit DIQ. So did you know that? You need to know that. If you want to be a director by seminar, you need to know that. You need to know that you need the 10 to go in. You need to know that you have to, your unit has to do 4,000 wholesale to stay in qualifications. You have 3 months to do it. You can always take a 4th month, but I never even talk about it because you don't have to. And then by the end, you need 13,500. So 13,500 total wholesale, and you need 24 active team members. So I always, when I'm training on DIQ, I always tell people, are you tracking? Are you tracking? Because for me, tracking is so huge and a track number grows. So for me, I had a whiteboard in my kitchen. It was not the most beautiful thing, but for me, it worked because I saw it every day. My husband saw it. If I had appointments come over, they saw it. My team members saw it. Everybody saw it. And so that held me accountable. I knew what I needed. I wanted to, watch that thermometer go up. I wanted names to be crossed off, numbers to go down, all of that jazz. So make sure that you're tracking your progress so that you know what you need every morning and you know what you need every night. So that's important. I want to kind of briefly touch on earning a car as a consultant because you guys, I really honestly believe that that is the reason why my unit is so strong right now. And it's why, my directorship has just gone so well. It's the reason why I'm making a really good paycheck. All of that is because I wanted to earn the car the consultant way because I didn't have a car. I think that I drove 12 or 13 cars in my DIQ period because I didn't have a car. My husband's car gave out on us. I was renting cars. The rental cars broke. Like, I was like having the worst luck with cars. So, and I just kept saying, sometimes an obstacle is a sign to keep going. That was my motto. I'm just going to keep going throughout all these obstacles, whether that's a car accident or your health or rejection or whatever. But yeah, so earning a car the consultant way is super, super awesome for your unit in general, because that means that you have to be your best team member. And that is one of my favorite, that's one of my favorite tips to give somebody who wants to be in DIQ is be your best team member, because if you're your best team member, you are going to be recruiting the most. You're going to be recruiting the most. You're going to be selling the most. And your personal team is going to grow and they're going to be really strong. And that's what it takes to earn a car. And that's what it takes to earn a really good paycheck. So, so try to earn the car the consultant way, and you can talk to your director about that if you need to. My next tip is to never assume. Never, ever, 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 ever assume. Never assume that somebody's not going to sign. Never assume that somebody's not going to buy anything. Never assume that somebody's not going to show up or text you back or whatever it may be. Never assume. And this is something that I feel like I have to tell myself a lot, because I will be at an appointment and somebody will buy nothing, or maybe they'll buy a brow tint, which is $14. We make $7 off of that. But I always share the opportunity, because I never want to assume that somebody doesn't, even if they don't feel like purchasing products today, that they don't want to purchase the opportunity, basically. So I'll give you an example. Last April, when I just totaled my car, I did a power start, which is another one of my tips. Do power starts. I'll talk about that in a second. But I was doing a power start, and I facialed so many people. I don't know, probably more than a power start. I didn't even track it. That's how many faces I was seeing. I was like, nope, as long as I'm filling in each gap with faces, that means that I'm probably doing a power start. So yes, so I had 2 appointments in April that really stand out to me. And this is why. One of those appointments, I had somebody purchase a moisturizer, and I think like a cream eyeshadow. It wasn't a huge purchase or whatever. But this December, okay, I shared the opportunity with her, never heard from her again. This December, and she might be on here. If you are, hey, MT. But this December, when I was actually having to finish my Equinox, and we were pretty far away, for December, because December can be a hard month to sell sometimes because of Christmas and all the holiday stuff and everything going around. So I was very nervous about earning my car in December. And this she's a consultant now, but this girl reached out to me and she said, do you want to get lunch or whatever? And I was like, sure. And she wanted to buy some eye patches, and we met up. She asked about the opportunity. She signed, and she came in with an entire store full of inventory, and it helped me finish my car. And I assumed that she wasn't going to sign up. And she did, and she finished, my car was finished. Another example I have, that same month in April, I had somebody who bought an under eye corrector. I, shared the opportunity with her, never heard from her again. And later I think actually this past January, she signed, and she came in with a full store as well. So that another, reason why I'm bringing this up is not only to never assume that somebody's not going to join or buy or whatever, but never assume that God doesn't have a plan for that person. If you are faithful and you put yourself in front of somebody, they're there for a reason. And so, like, Lauren was saying, like, keep following up, because everything's going to come full circle, no matter how many faces you're seeing. But the more faces you see, the more that's going to happen. Another tip I have is share your goal with everybody. When I started sharing my goal with my friends, my family, every appointment I had, people want to support a goal and a dream. Women already want to buy stuff, and they are impulse buyers, but they're more likely to purchase something from you if they know that it's also benefiting you in some sort of way. Because think about it. How many times have you bought something because, like, a part of it, like, went towards something, or maybe you help somebody finish their goal or whatever it may be. So always share your goal and reach up. So reach up to your director, reach up to your national sales director, reach up to other directors. It is so important to not do this alone, because this job is different. This isn't like, unless your parents are in Mary Kay, nobody's really, like, they don't understand completely. The only people that do are the people above you who have done it before. So reach up. It's so, so, so important. And I'm going to leave you with this, and then I think that's all I have for you today. But when people tell you no, tell yourself you are not a quitter, because it is so easy when people tell us no, or reject us, or don't show up for appointments, or don't buy anything, or say they're going to sign up and then they don't. Tell yourself, I'm not a quitter. Like, just because that person may not, be a part of me finishing DIQ or a car or whatever it may be, tell yourself you're not a quitter, because you will cross the finish line eventually. Those people just may not be a part of the journey. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that, but thank you.
Yay, Rachel. Thank you. I love it. Attract number grows, girlfriend, and you are not a quitter. You never, ever gave up. And look at you, on target for Cadillac. Your car just keeps changing colors, so we love it. So proud of you. All right, so we are going to recognize our on target Queen's Court of Personal Sharing now, and super excited, you guys, to go across for those Diamond Bumblebees. And you just heard from Rachel Ryan, who's number 14 in the Diamond Sales Division, so we're so proud of her. And Allie Zorns has already finished her Diamond Bumblebee. Woo-hoo! So excited for Allie Zorns. And of course, Megan Wilkes is sitting beside me. She is on target for another Diamond Bumblebee, which which will make her fourth. And then Denise Guthrie, who is also tracking another Diamond Bumblebee. So congratulations, ladies.
Ooh, awesome, ladies.
I think we'll have lots of bumblebees flying.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that on target thing was just what Career Conference, that is just their rules. We have a different set, right? We just have a different set. Lots of diamonds going to be passed out in these two areas.
Yes.
Well, I want to add that Tess Caldwell is on target to officially earn her next Diamond Bumblebee. That's several for her too. I think that's 8 or 9. Leslie Hall, congratulations on being on target for your Diamond Bumblebee, and Courtney Ham. So congratulations to you three also. Thank you. Okay, and so now I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Ashley Potter. Ashley Potter is a former emergency room charge nurse. She won her very first Mary Kay card 6 weeks after signing her beauty consultant agreement. So if you're brand new, 6 weeks, it's possible. And then she earned her first Cadillac during her first full year in the company. And I know Rachel's tracking that too. She was a 1-month normal, so in case that's on your radar, finishing DIQ in just 30 days, and was a Dean's List achiever, debuting in the top 3 of her class. She has been a Triple Crown winner, National Court of Sales 3 times, has been in the top 20 for National Court of Sharing, and a Double Star achiever 3 times. She is married to Colin, who is a flight nurse, and they have 2 beautiful girls, Salem, who is 7, and Holland, who is 16 months old. So please welcome everybody, Ashley Potter.
Hi. Oh my gosh. I am loving these speakers. I always say that, we learn as much from others as we can teach. And I have like a whole notebook full of notes over here from everybody that has spoke. So I just want to introduce myself a little bit. Kristin said a little bit about me, but my name is Ashley Potter. I'm a senior sales director. When I started Mary Kay, my life was crazy. You heard her say that I was an emergency room charge nurse. So I worked 3rd shift, full-time plus. So I worked all night long. And then I was also in graduate school to get my nurse practitioner license. So I would work all night long, and then I would be in class and grad school all day. My husband was an emergency room nurse at the time. He was also in grad school with me to get his nurse practitioner license. We had a 2-year-old. So Salem, my little girl who is now 7, she turned 7 yesterday. So we celebrated a birthday in the house as fun as we could. She was 2 at the time, and I'm also a llama mama. So we run a farm. We have a 66-acre working farm in Pilot Mountain. We have 14 llamas, 4 alpacas, 3 Angora goats, and I couldn't tell y'all how many chickens we have. But so my life was super, super, super crazy. But we were still super, super, super broke. We basically lived paycheck to paycheck. We budgeted so that as soon as we got paid, bills were pretty much taking up our paycheck as we were, paying them. And we had been praying for something to come along so that we could have a savings account, so that if we needed tires, it wasn't going to be a strain, so that we weren't putting Christmas on a credit card, then using the next 3 months of the next year to try to pay down, the credit card. And we thought grad school was going to be our option. But, God has a sense of humor, and sometimes he has a different plan for us. And so Mary Kay came into my life, and I didn't see Mary Kay as my future career. I saw it as an addition of income. And luckily, I was open to what God had in store for me. And like she said, I went into DIQ April 1st and debuted as a director May 1st. And I just celebrated my 5th year in Mary Kay. So I'm super thankful for what the last 5 years have looked like. But I did not know that Mary Kay was going to take over for my full-time career. So after being a nurse for almost 15 years, January of 2018 was my last shift as an emergency room nurse. And my husband now does his dream job. So he's a flight nurse, just like she said. So he is the nurse on a helicopter for Air Care out of Baptist in Winston-Salem. And he is transporting the critical patients, the sick patients. So thank you for all of those of you who are praying for our healthcare workers. It is near and dear to my heart. It hits our family hard. And so if you would just keep those prayers coming for just safety and healing for all those that are in the healthcare field right now. So to get you caught up, I started my Mary Kay business for additional income, and God, it just boomed. It literally just took off because I had faith, I had an open mind, and I was able to follow directions. And so I now look back at time that I missed out with my little girl because I was trading time for money, picking up extra shifts so that we could have more money, or having to rearrange schedules because I had to work because it wasn't a Monday through Friday 9 to 5, and sometimes Christmas Eve may have fell on a Friday night that I had to work, and so forth. So when people find out that I was a 1 month normal, they always ask me, what was your secret? What did you do different? How did you do it with such a busy schedule? How did you do it with kids? How did you do it, while being in school and working? And my answer is always the same. I have no secrets. You know how to use the business. You know how to work the business. You know the basics. The only thing that was different between me and somebody that, hasn't made the decision to do it yet is that, one, I was decided, but two, I got told no more times. Guarantee, hands down, I got told no more times than somebody that just hasn't got there yet. And so I hope that that there is no hidden secret that you don't know yet. There is no magic dust that I could just sprinkle over you so that you could, jump to the finish line of your goal. It is literally just making the decision that nothing's going to stop you and being okay with the no's that happen in the meantime. So for those of you that know me, you know that I am very real. I tell it like it is. I will love on you. I will then tell you exactly like it is, and then I will help you come up with a plan on how to fix it. So I'm high D, high I. So put me in charge, and I'm going to make it fun. That's kind of how I am. But when Kristin asked me to speak, and she said that the word that kept coming to her for me was power, I was very honored. I was honored because she chose and trusted me to speak to y'all. I was honored that Lynnea is also allowing me to speak to her ladies as well. But I was honored because of the word that God had given her. So when I started thinking, what does power mean? What does power look like? What does power sound like? What does power walk like? And so when you see someone come on stage, for example, Glory Mayfield Banks, you look at her, you hear her speak, and you're like, wow, that was powerful. Or she is such a powerful woman. Is it because of the clothes she wears? No. Is it because that, she doesn't look nervous when she speaks? No. Is it because of the actual words that are coming out of her mouth that make her powerful? No. Or when you hear your preacher, and there was a sermon that really hit home, like he was talking directly to you in that pew, and you leave church and you're like, oh my gosh, that sermon was so powerful. Or you hear a song, on the radio, and you're like, oh, that was a powerful song. Like that's a powerful message, and so it makes you stop and think, why did you say that? Why did you label that powerful? So what does power mean? Well, if you want a dictionary definition, power comes from a Latin word that literally means to be able. But I see power differently. Let's look at it like in reference to your house. You need power to have your lights on, right? You need power to have heat and air. You need power to run your refrigerator, to cut your stove on and cook. If you have a well like I do, you need power to run water. You need power for your TV, for your hair dryer, for your straightener, to charge your phone, etc. When storms or bad winters hit, what's the one thing that people always worry about? What's the one thing that they panic about? And that's losing power, right? But I want you to think of it like this. What happens when you have too many things plugged in? Like you have too many things running at one time, too many things draining your circuit. It flips the breaker. When the breaker flips, nothing works. It all shuts down. Now, I will say this. When the power goes off, does Duke Power call you and say, Mrs. Potter, Mrs. Myers, do you have power? No. You call the 1-800 number to let them know that you need power, right? You call that number to let them know I am in the dark and I need someone to help me get my power on. So I'm going to say this again. When you lose power, does Duke Power call you? No. You reach out to them, right? Same thing in your unit. Same thing in your Mary Kay business. Do not wait for your director to contact you and say, do you have power? How is it going? Are you working? Do you need help? What are you struggling in? We try to get around to everybody, you know, and to touch base with you and to communicate with you and to offer resources. But you know first when those lights go off in your business. You reach up and tell them, I need someone to cut my power back on. Every single one of us is extremely, extremely powerful. Our power comes from our faith. Our power comes from our inner spirit. Our power comes from our confidence. It comes from our support system. It comes from our motivation. Power comes from prayer. So don't tell me that you're not a powerful person. Don't tell me that you can't have that level of power that so-and-so has, or that this woman has, or that that person has, because you're able to pray. Power can come from prayer. You have an amazing God. That is powerful. You have health. You have a family. Y'all, you woke up today. That is powerful. You're part of a Christian-based company that is full of women that are willing to pour success into you. That is powerful. You have a profitable business that can support you through hard times. My friends, that is powerful. See, we're all powerful, but if you don't feel powerful, it's not because you've lost your power. It's because you have let something flip your breaker. You have let bad days. You've let no's. You've let disappointments. You've let outside influences. You have let outside stressors flip your breaker. When your breaker is flipped, nothing coming off of your circuit is working. So now your lights are off. Your business seems dark and unredeemable. You can't cut your stove on. Your sales are cold, and now you don't have any appointments to heat them back up. Your heat won't work. So your recruiting is froze solid. Now your refrigerator and your freezer has done turned off. Your whole team is now spoiling and you're ready to throw it all away. Do not let your Mary Kay sisters fear that they will lose power too because they have plugged into your dream. You could be someone else's power source. And if you let your breaker stay flipped, someone else is now in the dark as well. So when you don't have power, it affects so much more, y'all, than what we realize. It affects so much more. There are people praying for you to be good at this. It may be Mary Kay related, like your recruits or people that have just been watching and waiting for you to do good, waiting to see what you do with this business before they give it a chance. You know, we've all had those people that are, I'm just going to sit back and watch you. Or then they contact you and they say, I've been watching you on social media. It may be non-Mary Kay related. It may be that you have aging parents and that they're going to need your help. It may be family medical treatments that you now can afford. If you know my whole story, then you know that this hits home for me because this is exactly what happened to me. Early in my life, I had my first baby. It was a little boy. I was 27 weeks pregnant, went into premature labor, and they could not get my labor stopped. I gave birth to a 1 pound, 5 ounce, beautiful, perfect little boy. But he was just too early. I had to have an emergency C-section. There were some complications with that. And he went to be with the Lord after only being alive 31 hours. Salem, my 7-year-old, was actually a twin, and we lost her twin very early in the pregnancy. We had some complications with that delivery as well. And I guess Salem was about 3, we decided that we wanted to try for another baby. We were trying, nothing was working. And to get you caught up, we went to meet with specialists, found out that we were not going to be able to get pregnant naturally, and that our only option was to do infertility. We had to do in vitro because of my age and some of the health complications. We were having to do the most aggressive form of in vitro. And I will be 110% real with y'all. If we were still both nurses, we would not have been able to afford infertility. It was the benefit, the blessing, and the financial support of my Mary Kay business that allowed me to have my second little girl, Holland. I shudder to think that if I would not have started this business 5 years ago, because when I started, did I know that I was going to need that starter kit to have a baby? Absolutely not. But God did. God knew my book. God knew my story. He knew what chapter was coming. And that's why he lit this path up for me. So you never know what is going to happen later in life that this is prepping you for. So my Mary Kay business allowed me to be a mom again. You never know who is on the back burner, who is waiting in the shadows, who is hiding for you to be good at this. And I absolutely love what this company can offer you. Mary Kay related, non-Mary Kay related, confidence related. You've heard women talk about self-confidence, giving them the ability to overcome obstacles, that life can throw at them. It's more than just cosmetics. It's more than just skincare. Some of my best friends in the entire world are ladies that I have met through this business. So yes, I'm very, very honored that Kristin saw power in me. I will continue to walk with power. I will continue to talk with power. Ladies, I will continue to pray with power. I will run a powerful business and a team full of powerful women. If me having power lights the way for others, then Lord, let me radiate power. I challenge you to do the same. If you don't feel powerful, I pray that today you find that breaker box. You flip that breaker back on. You plug into a power source and you take your power back. Now tell me, what word do you want someone to think of about you when you leave here today? Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you for allowing me to talk. And ladies, I hope that you have a book full of notes and that this just reignites your power source.
Wow. We are so excited about the words that you shared in your story and your pain. Your pain, because your pain has become your victory story. And you want that for everybody else. So I just appreciate that. I love the feedback. I don't think everyone can see the chat. So, I'll have to screenshot some of the chat going on. So Ashley, and I think I'm the only one that can see it, but it's so powerful. I love that my Mary Kay business allowed me to be a mom again, and that you challenge everybody, Ashley, to get their power back, to find it, right? And so we'll have to Jillian screenshot some of this good stuff that we can send to her. Awesome. Well, now I'm going to ask, we're going to do some more recognition. So we are going to recognize our On Target Circle of Achievement winners and excellent winners. And so I've got 3 that I'll start with. The Circle of Achievement ladies are Leslie Hall, Bridget Adams, and Courtney Ham. So congratulations to you three.
Awesome. And same, I have 3, and then I have our fabulous A team that I'll say, but congratulations, Jamie Taylor, Circle of Achievement, Megan Wilkes, and Sherry Purvis. And Sherry's goal is to finish up Circle of Excellence this month. So we're cheering you on. And Denise Guthrie, congratulations, ladies. So, so proud of you. You are leaders of leaders. And I think I'm going to go right into recognizing or introducing Sherry Purvis. So Sherry, I know you're at the beach. We're so jealous. And I love that you renovated that whole beach house with your Mary Kay money. And I've had the privilege of staying there. And just, it's so beautiful. And Sherry, you are beautiful inside and out. There's no way, I know that Kristin, we're just sharing a few things. There's no way I could read all of Sherry's accolades. I could, but it might take the whole time. But Sherry has been in the Court of Personal Sales and Court of Sharing 8 times. She's been the queen of sharing for the Sapphire Division in 2014. I believe, was it 2014? I think so. And then I had the privilege and the honor of crowning her as the queen of the Diamond at the Diamond Seminar, as the queen of, as $1 million sales director in 2017. And Sherry is an amazing leader. She loves Jesus. She loves her man, Rocky Purvis, and they have 4 children, 1 in heaven. If you haven't heard her story, you want to hear it. It's amazing and powerful. And she has 8 grandbabies. She is, I tell her she's the hottest Grammy around. So Sherry, we love you. And I'm so blessed that you came into my life in way of my personal recruit, Lisa Van Patten, who was my best friend from middle school. And now here Sherry is as a first-line sales director. She's a gift from above. So Sherry, take it away, my friend. I know you have lots to share.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lynnea. I love you so much. I love this Mary Kay opportunity. And if you are out there and you're on the dream team, yay, dream team. We were number 2 for Charlotte Career Conference. So congratulations to you. You guys rock. I am so excited and so humbled to be your leader, to be your director. And never in a million years, 9 years ago, did I even see myself as a leader at all. So it has been an incredible journey. And for those of you who don't know me, I would love to share just a little bit of my story. I am a pastor's wife. I was a registered nurse. So Ashley, I loved your story. Oh my goodness. I loved hearing your story. I was a nurse for 25 years and I loved my job. I was super passionate about it. It was my ministry outside of the church. I never realized I kind of lived in a triangle. You know, it was my church and home and work. And I just kind of did it over and over like we all do. We kind of get stuck in those ruts and we kind of just keep doing our thing. We don't know there's anything else to do. So 9 years ago, my daughter was going to have a facial or have this Mary Kay consultant come over to my house. She was living at home and she was going to have this girl come over and do a Mary Kay facial with her. And she asked me would I do it with her. And I about freaked out because I didn't want to put Mary Kay on my face. I'd never tried it before. And I had rosacea really bad right through here. And, you know, it would flare up from time to time. And I thought, if I try something new, it might make my rosacea flare. And then I'm going to look silly for a couple of weeks. So I told my daughter, I was like, let me see when I'm scheduled to work next week. I don't even know if I'll be here or if I'll be at work. And y'all, I was scheduled to work that day. So I literally said, thank you, Jesus. I don't have to put Mary Kay on my face. And that morning at 5 a.m., the hospital called. Ashley, you know what this is like. The hospital called and said, we don't have enough patients for you to come into work today. It's your turn to stay home. We have low census, so you have to take the day off. And I'm like, please let me come in. Like, I would love to come. Somebody else would probably want to stay home, right? And they said no. So I was stuck. And I did do the facial. I put the Mary Kay on my face, but I don't remember listening to anything the girl said about the products. And I don't even think she talked about the opportunity while she was doing the facial. But as soon as we were done with the facial, y'all, I ran to my bathroom and I washed my face. I washed it all off and I put my makeup back on. And I thought I was done with this Mary Kay thing. until I overheard my daughter in the kitchen saying to her, she was saying to the consultant, "This is really cool. I would love to do something like this. How did you get started?" And Mama about freaked out. So I opened my bedroom door and I called my daughter, "Mary, come here." So I called her back to my room and I got in her face and I said, "You are not going to sell Mary Kay. You don't know anything about this company and you don't know anything about these products and you're about to get married. You can't even go into debt without talking to Brian first." And so I was giving her 10 reasons that she can't sell Mary Kay. Yes, that was me 9 years ago. So my daughter said to me, "Mom, is a starter kit for," well, first of all, she said, "Mom, take a chill pill." I was like, "What? Excuse me?" She said, "Take a chill pill. It's a starter kit for $100 and you get all this free stuff. And it's like over $300 worth of product for $100. So that's not going into debt." So I immediately thought of another pastor's wife who sold Mary Kay and she drove the pink Cadillac, and I trusted her. I trusted her not to lie to me, to be honest about this Mary Kay thing. So I called her up and I said, "Kay, I need to meet you for coffee. I have questions about this Mary Kay opportunity." And of course she said, "Sure, when would you like to meet?" So I said, "I need to meet you now." And we ran down for coffee. And when she shared the Mary Kay opportunity with me, wow, y'all, I about fell off my chair. I could not believe that women made money doing this. And I really felt bad for people who had to sell lipstick. I'm like, I don't even know why you'd want to do that. I mean, like, seriously, can you not find another job? I really did have a bad attitude because I didn't know the facts. So when I heard the facts and my daughter signed up, I was one of her first 2 team members that signed at her debut party. But when I heard my director's story, Lisa Van Patten, who was a nurse, and how great she was doing 3 years into the company, it inspired me. And I remember thinking, you know, getting a 50% discount, what do I have to lose for that? And what if I do end up making some extra money? Because it was always paycheck to paycheck. And I just thought if I could have extra fun money, I would be excited. So I took a chance 9 years ago. I did not believe in myself. I didn't really know enough about the company to really believe in the company, but I knew people who had been successful. So that helped me to believe that it must be real. And I ordered my starter kit. And oh my goodness, I can't even begin to tell you how thankful I am that I took a chance. Because during this time, I mean, do you know how many times I have thought over this last week, thank you, Lord, that you called me out of nursing into something different. I would have to be at the hospital during this difficult time. But y'all, this company is amazing. This opportunity, it changes you as a person. So if you're a brand new consultant and you're on here, you have to trust this company. And I love hearing from other people because we hear the stories and that builds our belief, knowing that this is a legitimate business. And now there's no better time to be a part of this company. So first of all, I just want to encourage you to believe in this opportunity. You know, way back then, I didn't really know what any of this stuff was, even like the court of sharing, the court of sales. I didn't understand all of that. I didn't even understand what it took to earn a car, but I saw other people doing it and I just took that next step. So for me coming into the company, my goal was simply to get my discount and to maybe earn a couple of extra $100 a month. Like I said, for fun money. But I just did what my director told me to do. She told me to book faces. She told me to share the opportunity. And as I did that, things started to happen. So you just have to take those basic steps and do what this company teaches us to do. We've been in business for 56 years. None of us need to reinvent the wheel. It's all about sharing the products and sharing the opportunity. I loved sharing the products in the beginning because it changed my face. It really made a difference in my skin and I got excited. I really felt bad that nobody had ever shared that with me. And I was 45 when I signed up. So when I finally got help with my skin, wow, what if someone would have shared that with me? So then I took it as a personal responsibility to share these amazing products with people. And 9 months into it, I earned my first car. And y'all, it was simply out of passion for these products, I promise you. And then I began to learn to share the opportunity. And now I am super passionate about sharing this business opportunity. because like I said, it has changed me as a person. It has helped me to grow into a leader that I never saw myself as being a leader. My husband's a strong leader, but that was not me. At least I didn't think so. But God has used it to show me, yes, you are, and I have given you that ability. So I am super thankful for all of you ladies who are on my team, that God has given me the opportunity to just have you in my life, to help you grow your business, to make a difference for your family. So I am super excited. So y'all, believe in this opportunity. We know that it works. Believe in this company. Just take that next step. And I want to say too that we all need to stay positive. During this time, oh my goodness, there's so much negative out there. You could watch the news 24/7 and you would be so depressed, right? So turn the TV off, turn the radio off, and put on some praise music. Listen to some praise music. We know who is in control. So stay positive. I also want to encourage all of you to plug in to positive things from Mary Kay. Like, I personally love to listen to the $1 Million Call. So if y'all need that number, we can post it somewhere, but listen to that every day. It will give you fresh ideas. It will just give you positivity to plug into. You will get excited about your business. Plug into your team. Plug into your director, plug into each other, reach out to your sister consultants and encourage them. Now there's no better time than for us to really work as a team. I think Taylor McKnight said it so well lately. She said, teams run further, faster. So let's run as a team. Ladies, I know that God has given each of us a goal for this month. Way before all this stuff happened with the coronavirus, right? And way before we went on lockdown, I believe that if God has given you a goal, we need to run for it, because God knew this ahead of time. So why would his mind change on the goal of what he's calling you to do? So I just want to encourage you to stay positive, keep focused on your goal, and keep moving forward. Don't back down from your goal. Why would you back down? I think the only reason that we would back down is fear, right? So don't be fearful. Run with your goal. Stay in your huddle, okay? Again, surround yourself with positive people. If you have, I'm sure you have a team page for your unit. Plug in daily. Interact on that page. Don't just sit back. Let people know you're there. Stir up some excitement. Y'all, I am really excited that this is a time that will bring our teams closer together. I'm excited about our virtual parties that we're going to be doing. I'm reaching out to people out of state that I wanted to facial for years. And every time I offer to drive to town and do it, there's a reason why they can't. But everybody wants a pampering package, right? Everybody's more open to that. So how exciting that we are having an opportunity to reach people that we haven't had an opportunity to reach before. So plug into what your team is doing. Trust your director and hop on board, okay? And then take action, you all. We have to take action. There is a lot that we can be doing. Yes, there's preparation. We have to order our samples. We have to prepare the envelopes. It takes time to reach out to people, but guess what? We have time. We all have time right now. So no excuses. No excuses. Go through your list of Facebook friends. I bet you'll find people that you just didn't even think about in the last year or two. And you're like, oh my goodness, if I had the opportunity, I would love to facial her. Guess what? Now is your opportunity. And I would like to say too that I totally believe that now is the time that we need to stock our shelves with inventory. What an amazing opportunity we have to continue to service not only our current customers, but our potential customers that are out there. Because guess what? If they use product X and they can't get it because their store is shut down, they might have to use an alternative. So this would be a great opportunity for us to share our amazing products, and they are going to fall in love. We know they will. So we are building lifetime customers during this time. But if you don't have products on hand, guess what? They're going to go somewhere else. So it's consultants who have inventory on hand that are going to be able to make amazing sales during this time. So I would encourage you to beef up your inventory, get your hands on these products. We don't know if some of our distribution centers might have to close down for a short period of time. So I just encourage you to go ahead and stock up and be ready, be prepared. And I also want to say, never give up. Y'all, never give up on this opportunity. Never give up on yourself, because who knows where this might lead you next year or in the next 5 years. As I ponder over these last 9 years, I can say I, in a million years, would have never saw myself here this far being successful in a business like this. I knew nothing about skincare. As a matter of fact, I hated my skin. I knew nothing about makeup, how to apply eyeshadow. I really didn't. It wasn't that important to me. I mean, I wore makeup, but nothing great, you know. But I had no idea what God had for me. And so just be obedient to what he's calling you to do, because he sees the future. I didn't see all of this happening in 2020. Did you? I didn't know that, wow, I would be so grateful that Mary Kay has paid our mortgage off. And that is not a concern right now. How grateful am I that our mortgage is paid? Thank you, Mary Kay. I had no idea that Mary Kay would pay college tuition for my kids. I had no idea that Mary Kay would allow me to buy my husband a convertible. That was fun. I had no idea that we would be losing a son at the age of 25. And we did not have insurance. And so Mary Kay helped pay for all of those funeral expenses. What a blessing to not have to worry about that. Y'all, you do not know what's in your future, but God does. So if he is asking you to step up and step out, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, and don't give up on your business. Sometimes it's so easy for us to want to give up when things get tough, when times get hard, when we can't see the next step, but just take the next step. You have to trust, believe in yourself, believe in God who is calling you and who has placed that on your heart. Do you think that it was easy for me to walk away from a 25-year nursing career? It wasn't, and it was. It wasn't easy to let my license go, because I gave it my all when I was in nursing school, and I was so passionate. But y'all, I'm so glad that I trusted, because I knew God was calling me to do that. I knew he had other plans for me. And thank you, Lord, that I stepped away, because you don't know what the future holds, but God does. So do not fear. I want to encourage you to, again, stay off the news. I want you to plug into God's word, plug into positivity, and fear and faith cannot live in the same house, right? And we all have a tendency to let fear take over. Sometimes it takes over before we realize it, and then we're like, oh my goodness, why am I feeling fearful? So I want to leave you with a passage that my husband shared with me 2 days ago. And wow, I want to encourage you, just like he's encouraged me, to read this passage every single day during this difficult time. But Psalm 91, it says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and your rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrows that fly by day, nor the pestilence that strikes in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lions and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. So where does your trust lie today? I hope it's in the Lord Jesus. If not, if you have questions, one of us would be glad to answer those questions and pray with you. But fear not. Ladies, let's take action today. We have still over 3 months left in this seminar year. So let's make it great. Run to the goal that God's put on your heart individually, and run to help your team meet the goals that God has given your team. Believe in this company. There's never been a better time to be in Mary Kay Cosmetics. And I, for one, am forever grateful that I said yes. And I continue to take that next step of obedience. I love you all. Thanks for letting me share. Can't hear you.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Sherry. Oh my goodness. Wow. Are you guys ready to go be inspired and just work your business like never before? Sherry, thank you. Thank you for sharing from your heart always, and for sharing your deep faith. And that scripture is so powerful. God is in control. We do not need to be afraid, even though at times fear creeps in. So thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to recognize our on-target double and triple star achievers. We're trying to stay on track, you guys. So we are excited. We've got one more speaker, and I know y'all have been so inspired. So I think we're getting a little feedback. So maybe, Kristin, do you want me to start, and then I'll mute and you can keep talking? Okay. So on target, I have 3 ladies I'm going to recognize. And of course, again, this is just career conference numbers. I have no doubt that there are several of you right now. I'm thinking of you, and I'm like, I know you guys are going, I am going to do double or triple star. But as of career conference on paper, so Sherry Purvis, double star. I know she'll do triple star. She does it every year, but congratulations. Megan Wilkes, double star on target. And so proud of her. And then 1 triple star, woo-woo, from the A team, Denise Guthrie. We love you. Congratulations.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and I want to add Tess Caldwell, congratulations on target double star. I know that she is headed for triple star. And Leslie Hall, congratulations to you too. And Courtney Ham. So congratulations, all 3 of you wonderful ladies. Boom for you too, everybody. All right, so now we're going to be introducing our last speaker before me and Lynnea wrap this up. And this special lady, her name is Bridget Howard and Adams, and many of you know her, and if you don't, you want to know her. She is a sunshine, she is dedicated, and she is a giver to all that knows her. She joined Mary Kay in 2013 to help a friend. I love that. She fell in love with the company and the ability to grow personally, spiritually, and influence others while making money and being able to design her life around her family's lives and values. She earned her first car 3 months from signing her agreement, and promoted herself to directorship 4 months from signing her agreement. She is currently driving the sporty new XT6. This is her 6th car in 7 years. She is a future executive sales director with goals to never stop dreaming, NSD, and a mama 4. Lana is 11, Lincoln is 7, and he'll be 7 in 5 days. And Lucas is 4, and then Lainey just turned 2 yesterday. So happy birthday to her. So thank you, Bridget. Pass it over to you.
Thank you, Kristin. Thank you, every single person that's been on this call that shared. You've touched my heart and gave me hope today. And I pray that I can leave you with a little more hope. And so I want to tell you a little bit about myself, and through my story and my journey, give you some tips. And so I think a lot, like a lot of the other speakers, I did not see myself here 7 years ago when I signed my beauty agreement for a friend, really to help her. And I also liked Kristin. So I'll say that when I came to my Mary Kay skincare class, I learned a lot. I was 9 months pregnant. I was a full-time RN. labor and delivery nurse. I love nursing. Sherry, we have a lot of similarities. I got to hear you speak somewhere, and I love your heart. Thank you for sharing. All the speakers were amazing. Something that I feel like commonality between Mary Kay women is that we just figure it out. We are figure it out women, and we get it done, and we overcome obstacles, and it's a safe place to grow. And so if you're listening today and your hope is low, or your power, like Ashley said, is low, then I hope after today, and I pray after today, that you get a mental break from all the craziness, and that you get a little bit more hope that will increase your faith to just keep carrying on. And I believe that that's why I'm here today, is that I just did the next best thing, the next right thing to do daily. And it's a combination, it's a compound effect of the little things that you choose to do today that is going to get you to the big goal. And give yourself grace. Give yourself grace when things don't always look perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm an overcoming people pleaser, perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect, and you have to let that go and give it to God and be still in His presence. And I'm so thankful that Mary Kay has grown my spiritual life more than anything. In my sisterhoods, and my sisters in Mary Kay, my sisterhood, I say all the time that people say, they see the Cadillac, they see the diamonds and all the things, all the material things, and they're like, you must be really good. And I'm like, honestly, I am not. I don't feel like I'm great at all, but I have a lot of women around me that make me look really phenomenal. So I'm so thankful for my unit and my directors that inspire me every day. It really is true. Who you surround yourself with, you become like. And at this time when we can't maybe connect together, I'm so thankful, connect one-on-one, person to person around a table, that we can connect virtually. And so this is definitely something I told Kristin at the directors meeting at the beginning of this month, that I don't like virtual stuff. I'm my grandparents raised me, and technology is tough. I wish you guys could see my setup here. So my iPad was going dead, and it just kept going so fast. And I'm like, oh my goodness, by the time I go, it might be dead. So I had to rig this. I wish you could see it. But like I said, we figure it out, right? I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. And so, anyways, back to my story. 7 years ago, when I met Kristin and came to that skincare class, the thing that I think was implanted in me that day was hope. Hope that there is something else. Hope that, you can give something away, or you can do something that matters. And I love nursing. I love taking care of people. But the thing that I love most about nursing is that connection with people, is getting to know them. And as an RN, I felt like 5 years as an RN, my total was 9 years in the healthcare. It was like my bubble kind of bursted, because it was tough. Like Sherry said, it's just tough. It's like, you give it your all, and sometimes in a job, when you are really good at what you do, especially in nursing, you, instead of getting recognized and clapped for like we do in Mary Kay, you just get more work put on you. And that's hard. And so I needed some joy in my life. I needed joy and hope. And so that's what it gave me, was joy and hope. And that's what we give others. Last night when I was sitting down, getting some quiet time, a song, Matt Maher, it's on my Facebook. If you're on my Facebook, I posted it. I kept listening to it over and over, and it says, joy still comes in the morning. Hope still walks with the hurting, and so forth. And if you're alive and breathing, praise to the Lord. And I posted that, and people are watching you. My father-in-law posted something on there, and he needed that at that moment. And you don't know when people need you in that moment. And I am not able to reach the people that you can. And God has a plan and purpose for your life. And so I needed joy. I needed hope. I never in a million years thought I would be here 7 years later, but sometimes I think God wants me to do this more than I do. It is a calling on your life. And when God gives you a command, when He gives you a vision or a dream, that that is from him, and he wants you to do it, and he will equip you. He will empower you. He is that power source. He is that hope. And so, Mary Kay, when I started, I think God knew that I was safe in my comfort zone. I'm very much like, I like being in my comfort zone. And so I was safe in that comfort zone of nursing. Like Sherry, you said, it was just the same routine. I loved that triangle. It was the land of it's what Glenda, the usual routine. And coming out of the land of was hard for me. But God pushed me out of it, and Mary Kay pushed me out of it. And he knew that I had a story and a testimony and that needed to be given, and I wouldn't have told people. I wouldn't have stepped out of my comfort zone where I was before Mary Kay came into my life. So I'm thankful that he's called me to be more. And he's given me an opportunity to pass on that hope and to pass on my testimony that we can share through the products. We can share the products that in turn gives hope and shows people to Christ. And that's the greatest fulfillment. Take away all the material things. I asked this question, I believe, to a couple of my directors, like, take away all the material things, take away the cars, take away the diamonds, take away the income. And what is that? What is success then to you? What is success to you if you took away all the material things? And so I think that's what Mary Kay gives us, is that fulfillment of that Christ hole in our heart, that we're supposed to give that away. And it makes me, it always, makes me super nervous and anxious. But I think that's the Holy Spirit inside your heart. When your heart's pounding like that, that means you're on the right track, and just be obedient. And like Kristin said, you have two legs. I say this all the time: trust and obey. And when he gives you your dream, walk in trust and walk in obedience. And so I joined to help my friend, but I really met Kristin because tip number one, she made me feel important. And that's what we're supposed to do, right? Mary Kay said that, make every woman feel like, treat every woman like she has a sign around her neck that says, make me feel important. And she did that for me. I love that she said my name over and over. So remember people's names. They like the sound of their name. And she kept calling me by name. She asked me to meet her for coffee. And I swear, yes, I wanted to help my friend, but I think Jesus signed that agreement. He signed it. I'm not going to go into my whole testimony because it's a lot. It's a lot. Know that I was a mess before Christ, and I'm still a mess now, but now I'm a hot mess because of Mary Kay. So it's nice to be a hot mess. And so God's still working on me every day. And there's a story that is going to be told. Know that when we finish our national area, Rise Up, when we finish this national area, there's going to be a testimony, a legacy to leave on stage. And I know each and every one of you have a story, and maybe you feel like you don't, but you do. And maybe you're in Mary Kay because you're going to go through a tough time, and that you're going to have a sisterhood and women around you that pray for you and support you and uplift you and give you hope in that time when there seems to be no hope. And so I don't know if you know Jeremiah 29:11. This was the first verse that I memorized at the young age of 23. This is my 10-year anniversary, coming up on my 10-year anniversary of my salvation, of asking God into my heart and forgiving me of my sins. I'm so thankful. 10 years, praise God. But the first verse that I learned was Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. And so that verse always takes me back to a time where I had no hope. And you can have no hope and still have faith. And so but you can't have faith. You can have faith and no hope, but you can't have hope and no faith. So sometimes your faith, it may be low, and your hope strengthens your faith. Okay. And so 10 years ago, I was saved. My husband led me to the Lord, and he was killed in a car accident a week later. And it was the hardest thing I ever went through. I had a 1-year-old at home, but I'm so thankful that I had faith in the Lord. And he carried me through that. And I don't know how people get through things without his love and his guidance and his hope and his faith. And so my prayer today is that I can give you hope if your hope is low. And there's so many people walking around right now without hope. And that's what we give them. And I would have never shared my testimony and what God brought me through without this Mary Kay business. I know I wouldn't have, because I was comfortable. I was comfortable in the land of the usual routine. And I didn't think my story mattered, but it does matter. And so I 10 years later, God has still strengthened me and getting me through that. This has been a really tough time to come up on 10 years of losing my husband. And but God is good. God is good, and God is with those who mourn, and with those that have lost hope. And so plug into that power source, plug into Christ, and when you pray and you're in the Word, your hope will be restored. And look and pray for those signs that you're on the right track, and you just walk in trust and obedience, and look for the hope signs. Maybe you have something. Maybe there's a sign, for you, that if you see something, then you know you're on the right track. And pray for God to put those things in your path, and He will. When you seek Him with all your heart, He will answer you and tell you great and hidden things that we don't know. And we don't know. It's crazy how things go from one week to the next right now, from one day to the next, like uneasy, not knowing. But you can have a peace in Christ. And so God knows knows what's going on. He knows. And thank you, Sherry, for reading that scripture. Man, it strengthened me. It strengthened my hope and my peace, and to know that we do have a refuge. And so He knows the beginning. He knew this was going to happen. He knew there was such a time as this. He knows the end, and He just wants us to have faith in the middle. That came from my friend Sarah. And so I love that. And so right now we just need to have faith. And even though our hope may be low and we're unsure, and so hope, the definition of hope is a confident expectation, And, you might not know what tomorrow brings, but do the next best thing, do the next right thing. I don't know if you've ever seen Frozen 2, but I have 4 kids, and I've watched them Frozen 2 about 1 million times, and I cry every single time. But after Elsa passes away, well, she thinks she passed away, and Olaf dies too. We think we dies. And if you've not seen, I'm sorry, I just ruined the whole movie. But she picks herself up, and she rises up, and she says, "I've got to do the next right thing." And so today, what's the next right thing for you today to help you reach that goal? And so it may be making that phone call, making that list of people that you haven't reached out to ask them to meet you virtually. I think, I've been fighting this thing, this virtual thing, the whole thing, but I know God is making us great at it. And in Mary Kay, we do things great. And so we're going to make this great. And other companies can do it and not be great. I don't mean to down anybody else's company, but we are great. We are better. We're going to do it better. We have the most amazing women and mentors that are going to give you the tips and tools. Man, Megan, that was phenomenal. The tips and tools you gave, lots of meat and potatoes in today's training. So I'm here to give you hope. And so when hope seems lost, just get quiet with the Lord. Keep your eyes focused on Him, and He will strengthen and restore your hope. Sometimes minute by minute, you have to just restore your hope day by day. And we walk by faith and not by sight. I love when you said, Megan, faith it till you make it. I love that, because I am big on faking it till you make it. And sometimes you don't feel like doing it. Do it anyway, even when you don't feel like doing it. And so we walk by faith and not by sight. This is what I'm going to leave you with. In my Bible study, this is something I always go back to. I don't know if you guys have ever read Henry Blackaby's Experiencing God, but I always go back to that when I need my hope restored. And so walk by faith and not by sight. God may not tell you or give you a specific plan, but He says, I am the way. And as long as you're in the will of God and your heart and intentions are pure, He will provide the way. And so one step at a time, trust and obey, trust and obey. And there's a couple of instances where well, probably a lot more, but a couple that I was brought to last night, that people had to walk by faith and not by sight. When he told Abraham to leave his country and his father's household and go into the land that he said he would show him, he didn't tell him which way to go or what to do. He just said, go, leave, go. He didn't say where. He just said, I will show you. And so, are you willing to follow him by faith and not by sight? Another instance is Joshua, when he called him to go and go into the promised land, to go and cross over Jordan. He didn't tell him how long. He didn't tell him. He said, go now. And Joshua went. And I know if you're in a director in the vision area, you've heard this, and I won't be long because some of this has already been said, but he gave 3 things for Joshua: transition, instruction, and action. The transition had to be quick. He did not say, like, we're going to plan 6 months and you're going to cross over Jordan and walk around Jericho. And he did not give him a detailed list. He said, just go. And so he went immediately, 3 days. So today, what do you need to do today? Immediately, the next right thing. And then secondly, he gave him, he'll give you instruction as you go. Just keep walking that instruction out. So like I said, make a list, make that phone call, do that thing that's uncomfortable. You know what that is. You know what that is. You know what you need to do. Action, act now, act quickly. Action is your obedience. And so, let's see. I think that's all. I think that's it. Let's see. Let me make sure. I think that's it. So just know that his promises are true, and he knows the plans he has for you, and to prosper you and not to harm you, and to give you a future and a hope. And I'm so thankful for this Mary Kay opportunity, that we give hope away every single day. When you do the little things daily, that it adds up to big, huge things. So thank you guys. I'm so honored to be here.
Awesome. Bridget, thank you so much. You are such a hope giver. And so you inspire us, daily, but today I know everyone has benefited. I've gotten text messages. And I don't know if you can see the chat group either, but you're full of hope, and it oozes over to everybody else. So thank you for that. Okay, guys. Well, Bridget, kind of ended the session talking about hope, and it was so great to hear Sherry read Psalms 91:4, and I've got that right here. So Sherry, you're gonna, and all of you guys as we're talking about hope here, and I'm gonna put Lynnea up here too with me. We'll be here together. And so this is an ornament that I gave my directors that says, and then there was hope. And so I don't know if you guys have thought of that word hope, or you felt hope, or there's so many things that's lined up today, in our conversations together. I don't know about you, but I felt like the speakers, we were kind of connected. And I'm that person that, man, I am that thank you God for signs and wonders kind of person, because I'm looking, right? I'm looking for those things. But the hope that Bridget talked about too, guys, was a biblical hope. It's not an emotion. It's real. It's the most purest form of hope, that biblical hope. It carries no doubt, zero doubt. It is your sure foundation upon which we base our lives, believing that God always keeps his promises. And so we're going to move forward. We're ready to move forward. We're springing into action. And Lynnea and I decided that we were going to challenge you guys. Like, we were going to put up a challenge for you guys to transition, to pivot, to make that shift to what we have to do, to working online. We will figure it out, right? We are smart. We are sharp to figure that out. And so we're going to start a thread on our national area Facebook pages that is tracking down how many virtual facials that you book and hold between now and April 15th. And our goal is to hold 500 between the two. I think we're going to do more, seriously. Like, blow the socks off of this, people. But 500 virtual facials between now and the 15th of April. And so post your pictures, post your setup, do some screenshots of what's happening so that we can inspire each other. But it's time, guys, to grow. And so I just have a quick acronym of GROW, and then I'm going to pass over to Lynnea. But the G, guys, I want you guys to be grateful right now, just an abundance of gratitude for your business and how it's blessing you now, and it's blessed all these other ladies that you've heard from today. And so why would you not want to give that away? So how can you give that away more? The R, I want you to be ready to serve. I want your intentions. You know, when we have pure intentions, you can never go wrong. And so as you're, you know, fumbling through, maybe some of you think, I'm going to fumble through this virtual facial thing. Your intentions are to serve her. So you cannot go wrong because your intentions are pure. So be ready to serve. I want you to be O, which is open to blessings in the desert. I want you to be open. Why could not God just work a fantastic miracle for you right now in the middle of what looks like a desert, right? So have high expectations that God is going to provide for you and give you exactly what you need. And then the W. The W is willing. I want you to be abundantly willing to stay the course that Sherry talked about. Stay the course. Why do you have to change your goal? You don't. We just have to work around things, right? Willing to refuel your power that Ashley talked about. Refuel yourself, ignite yourself. Some of you, it's refuel your tracking sheets. We heard from Rachel tracking and Lauren tracking and willing to follow up. We heard that word so many times today. Follow up, follow up. It's got to be something important. I said follow up a lot. So be willing. And then the last thing, guys, is to be willing to be a finisher. Decide that you're going to be a finisher. Decide that you're going to figure it out. Because, see, when you figure it out, you give other people permission to figure it out too. So you have to stand strong and be a finisher. And then I just want to read, this is our area verse this year, Lynnea, and it is Ezekiel 36:25. And so, you know, I've read this several times this year through Autumn Advance and July Jumpstart and January Jumpstart. I'm going to read it again, and it might mean something a little different this time. I will make a covenant of peace with them and cause wild beasts to cease from the land, and they will dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. I will make them and all the places around them my hill a blessing, and I will cause showers to come down in their season. There shall be showers of blessings. Then the trees of the field shall yield their fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Thank you, guys. Love everybody.
Awesome. I love that, Kristin. So, so good. So true. God's word is true. And I'm going to read our area verse. I know I was reading a little bit, kind of paraphrasing, but I'm going to read Psalm 61. And usually I quote the part, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. But right above that, it says, hear my cry, O God, listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Other versions say when my anxieties arise within me. And you guys, seriously, when you hike, like here we have the peaks of Otter, when you hike to the top of the mountain and you look out over, it's amazing at the vision that we get, right? Than when we're below the mountain, when we're at the base of it, the foot of the mountain. But when you climb up and you get to the top and you look out, it really gives you a different perspective. And that right there is what we need right now. We need to rise above. We need to rise above the anxieties and the fears. We need to rise above what we can just see with our human eyes and look at the vision God's given to us. And there's a quote that I love, and it's the clearer the vision, the fewer the obstacles, the easier the decision. The clearer the vision, the fewer the obstacles, the easier the decision. And I want to encourage y'all, this is kind of a funny little vision poster, so don't laugh too hard. I'm not like a real big artist, but I want y'all truly to say, do I have a vision? And for us, I don't know if you can see this, but Homes for Nicaragua, a lot of you know that's a huge part of what we do. I also have on this marriage retreats. John G and I have a huge love and passion for marriage, and we believe God does too. We actually were supposed to have 2 marriage retreats back to back, and they both got canceled. And we've had to, postponed, not canceled, postponed. But you can look and see Adoption Foster right now. We're fostering a little 6-year-old boy who has a lot of trauma in his life, and he's forever changed our life and the way we view things. And okay. Homes in Bedford for recovering addicts. Hope. Oh, there's the word. Oh my goodness. Did you see that, Kristin? Hope. We don't have that home yet. That's a part of my vision board that has not yet happened, but it's something that God's put on my heart. And when we were, moving in those years and transition, and I was driving a pink Cadillac and not knowing what in the world, I was like, God, what are you doing? I sat down and did one of these, and every year now I do one. I just make it, and I'm like, God, here it is. Here it is. And I get very quiet and very clear with the Lord. And I say, give me your vision. Give me eyes to see what I can't see with my human eyes. Help me to rise above and to be able to have that eternal perspective to impact the kingdom of God. So you guys, I am so thankful that you took time today to be with us. I know I'm encouraged. Kristin, thank you, my friend, for leading with excellence and for being a person that has pulled this all together. And thank you to Randy too. I know he helped, but we love you and we appreciate you. And ladies, we love you. We're praying for you. And I believe that the vision that God's placed on my heart and Kristin's heart as nationals is still the vision he wants us to go forward with. And so we're going to do it, right? It's still double credit month. And we still have time to make the dreams a reality. So God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. And we are cheering you on to your success. Love you big.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks for being on.